Part 29. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 281. Hongmeng Continent, Lingyu. At this time, countless people looked at the divine patterns in the Dao Golden List with twinkling eyes. Hongmeng Continent? What kind of continent is this? So outrageous. How dare you call yourself Hongmeng? Good guy, Hongmeng Continent? The name of this continent is really outrageous. Isn't this world some kind of advanced world? Similar to the prehistoric one. Prehistoric still represents ancient times, Hongmeng or something like that. Does this represent the original Hongmeng Continent? Gee, this world is really arrogant. Here comes another child of luck with conceptual ability. I don't know what kind of ability this conceptual ability is. Tisk, I'm so envious. Anyone who can be on the list has incredible abilities. If only I had such abilities. Alas, what a pity, I just don't know if we have this ability in our world. By the way, is this concept a law? Law. Unlike Li Jing, has Li Jing mastered the rules? Obviously not, this is completely different from the law. Indeed, this is completely different from the law. It is more like a certain setting, as simple as us humans having hands, or eating and drinking. It's more like some kind of instinct. So, this kind of conceptual ability is not simple for everyone, but when it comes to concepts, there is no weak one. Indeed, when it comes to concepts, there is no weak one. As long as you control it well and use the right method, you will be truly heaven-defying. The river god is like this, and so is Li Jing. I am now a little curious about what the next conceptual ability will be. At this time, countless people were discussing and looking at everything described in the Dao Golden List. At this moment, it was seen that a new picture appeared in the Dao Golden List. In the picture, there was a huge platform. On the platform, there is a tall terracotta warrior wearing a battle armor, like a statue of May 47. Each of these terracotta warriors exudes a terrifying aura, and at this moment, the edge of this place. At this point, a handsome man wearing a robe looked towards the huge platform and smiled, finally caught up. The next second, he flashed and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already at the feet of those huge terracotta warriors. These terracotta warriors were really big, and this man was not even as tall as the feet of those terracotta warriors. However, at the moment when the man who said this appeared, the eyes of those warriors suddenly flashed with scarlet light. At this moment, each of these warriors seemed to be alive, and the eyes of all the warriors were cold. Looking at the man coldly. The voice of the urn sounded from the mouth of the warrior: in the place where demons are sealed, no one is allowed to enter. However, the man went his own way and continued to move forward without any intention of retreating. The stone statue guarding here became angry, and the stone soldier in his hand, with terrifying power, instantly smashed down towards the man. However, this man, but he swayed and dodged nimbly. The energy fluctuations he showed were extremely weak. In everyone's eyes, this guy was equivalent to Qi training in their world, or at the elementary level. And those stone statues erupted. The power is at least similar to that of Jindan or nascent soul. In the Qi refining period, you can easily dodge attacks in front of Jindan or Yuanying bosses. What the hell is this? Countless people were confused and looked at the picture dumbfounded. The man in the middle, and at this moment, as he hid, the stone statue seemed to be angry, and shouted loudly, "Intruder, die!" The next second, he raised the mace in his hand high and hit the man hard. The man hesitated for a moment, then tapped his toes on the ground, as if the mace in the stone statue's hand had not yet fallen. Just get out of the way in advance. This ability to predict is simply amazing. The most important thing is, behind him, a stone statue also waved the sword in his hand, but his figure was like an ape. He closed his eyes nimbly and dodged again. Those stone statues were angry, and the 4 stone statues gathered around him, intending to kill the man completely. "Just you," the man chuckled. Buzz. At this moment, he raised his sword finger. On the sword finger, golden light flashed. Immediately, he slashed forward. Click. At this moment, the golden light was the diameter of the man's body and spread rapidly towards the surroundings. Wherever the golden light passed, the statues were directly blocked in two. The weak defeated the strong, easily. At this moment, countless people in the world were shocked, looking at the scene in the picture as if they had seen a ghost. Whoa! A breath wave similar to that of the chi refining stage, killed at least the puppet stone statue of the nascent soul stage. Are you kidding me? What the hell is this? My head is so humming fried. I didn't understand? Why just give it seconds? Is this guy pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger? To overwhelm your own level of strength to the lowest level. No, this guy is definitely not pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger. The ability this guy uses is just the lowest level. Worry, I'm so stupid, the lowest? Are you kidding me? Even if you stand still in the nascent soul stage, you can't break your defense in the chi refining stage. Good guy, I'm watching it too, but I can't understand it at all. What the hell is this? I can see clearly that this guy is heading directly for the vital points of these stone puppets. As long as there is a little energy fluctuation, they can be shattered. The key? Worry, have you seen it clearly? It's the key. Not to mention that I can see clearly, even if I am dazzled, if this guy can kill those stone puppets, he must find the key points. Good guy, use your abilities to the fullest. Every bit of spiritual power and every bit of strength must be calculated carefully. In the end, kill instantly. This guy is incredible. Is this the child of luck this time? By the way, what is his conceptual ability? I don't know, anyway, you'll find out after reading it. At this time, countless people were discussing, looking at the incredible scene in the picture. And at this time, in the picture, as the man directly killed the stone statues, finally, something new appeared. Buzz. One after another golden light appeared, and at the same time, phantoms holding divine swords and exuding terrifying auras appeared. Since this place is called the place of demon sealing, it is naturally not just those stone statues. These emanations, the shadow with the terrifying aura fluctuations, is the guarantee. However, the man curled his lips. Oh? New cannon fodder here again. He didn't take these phantoms seriously at all. Even though these phantoms had a terrifying aura, he still didn't take them seriously. The contempt in his eyes could be felt through the screen. He chuckled and sat down the top of the stone statue, looked at those shadowy figures with cold eyes. You brave boy, how dare you trespass into the demon-sealed place? Get it for me. Just at this moment, a guy with a corpse-like body, like a real person, and a ghost-like face shouted angrily. With his finger, in an instant, the dense crowd of guys around him all started to kill that man. Among these people, there were bald monks, sword-wielding monks, and violent and fierce men. All the cultivators rushed towards the man to kill him. In response, the man chuckled. It turns out to be a holy shadow. He glanced at those phantoms, and the smile on his face became more and more obvious. These are all Vajra bodies trained by the souls of the strongest people in the Northern Star region in the past. Their strength is almost the same as that of the original owner. The 7 Industry Demon Emperor really spent a lot of money to keep him under control. The young man smiled and looked at the many phantom monks who were attacking him. The expression on his face became more and more excited. Seeing that those monks were about to kill him, he stood up and flashed. And passed away. He kept intersecting, and the speed was unbelievable. One moment he stretched out his sword finger and hit somewhere on some of them. The next moment he directly raised his fist to kill. In the lightning and stone fire, the statue exuded a terrifying aura. All the strong men with diamond bodies fell to the ground. At this moment, countless people were numb. It was really numbskull. The feeling was like an ant running into the crowd and killing everyone. It's overturned. The abstract feeling is so terrifying that it makes people say it's impossible. Everyone in the world opened their eyes wide, looking at the scene in the picture in disbelief. It's so weird, oh. It's too abstract. This guy has a pitifully weak aura, but he can kill a person with just a single pointing move. It's like he knows these people's weaknesses very clearly. It's incredible. That's it. When countless people in the world were astonished and unbelievable, they saw that in front of the man, golden lights began to gather. In the golden light, golden void chains appeared. With the clattering of the chains, there seemed to be something. It seemed like he was about to appear. And the man seemed to have anticipated everything, and chuckled, "Did you finally show up? Lord Sumi." "Yes, Master Sumi." At this moment, as the man's voice fell, he saw that in the golden light, there was a tall figure with sharp eyes, wearing a robe, a man with a cold face. "This is Master Sumi." However, this Master Sumi is wrapped in chains, as if he is imprisoned here. "Who is making a noise here?" he snorted coldly, and turned his cold eyes to look at the man before. He chuckled lightly and said, "I'm sorry to disturb you from your rest, but I'm here to keep an appointment today." Master Sumi squinted at the man, then looked at the mess on the ground. "Did you break the phantom of the Holy Realm?" "No, you are in the mortal realm." "How can it be?" He looked at the man with some astonishment. His expression was the same as that of all the worlds. "A mortal realm broke the Holy Realm. What the hell is this?" In this world, the realms are roughly divided into mortal realm, spiritual realm, and universal realm. Realm: 9 Burning Wheel realm, 9 Yang Transcendence realm, 9 Yin Indestructible realm, 1000 Path Supreme realm, Triple Law realm, Human Zun realm, Balance realm, 4 Symbol realm, 10,000 Soul realm, Spirit King realm, Emperor realm, Holy realm. Of course, there are more realms above this. However, from this point of view, the Holy Realm and the Mortal Realm are already an insurmountable gap. This is no longer the difference between ants and humans, this is simply the difference between ants and planets. A mortal realm destroyed the phantom of the Holy Realm. What kind of joke are you kidding the gods? Master Sumi went numb. Immediately, when he looked at the man, his expression became fierce again. There was no doubt that in his opinion, this man could never be in the mortal realm. He couldn't tell, but he used some clever method to hide his aura. He sneered, and a purple soul fire appeared on the scarlet claws. He said lightly, "Then let me try your talent." After finishing his words, boom. At this moment, Master Sumi slapped the man directly. The wind of the palm was fierce, and the terrifying purple palm force rushed towards the man. However, in the face of such magical power, the man did not dodge without hesitation. He smiled when he looked at the terrifying magical power. "Ha ha ha, this method is indeed powerful. There are very few techniques in the world that can catch my eye." Buzz. At this moment, a faint golden light appeared around him. A wisp of breath spread. However, just such a wisp of breath shocked Master Sumi. It was a very familiar breath. This is the great son Deo Dharma. The most important thing is that it is the essence of his Dharma. This boy is not simple. "Who are you?" he shouted in a low voice, trying to figure everything out. "Good question." The man chuckled lightly, crossed his fingertips across a semicircle, and wiped out all the magical powers in that palm. "Who am I? Well, this probably starts from the earth. Yes, this guy is the protagonist of this conceptual golden finger, Ling Yu. And this Ling Yu is also a time traveler. When he was riding his bike to the examination room, he was hit by a large truck and died, and then he traveled through time. He arrived in this world. He traveled through this world, called Hongmeng continent. In this world, there are many sects, and there are big sects that cultivate immortals everywhere. He tried to join the Wanjie sect where he is currently, intending to start a life of cultivating immortals. However, the Wanjie sect refused to accept him, and even got beaten up. He was passing by the forest and saw someone bullying a woman. He yelled when he saw the injustice, and then he was stabbed to death. When he thought he would die like this, he woke up in his cabin again. He returned to the day when he traveled to this world. Time restarted. He was very happy. After all, who wouldn't want to have a chance once in life? Then, he realized something was wrong. Because even if he carefully avoided danger, when he woke up the next day, he was still back to yesterday. Everything seemed to be frozen in this day. He was trapped in the same day. It's like this every day, an endless cycle. To be honest, he was quite excited at first. 5.0 because, every day will come again, and he can do anything he wants to do but dare not do. Moreover, in this world, the jungle is strong, and only the strong can eat it. Only by becoming stronger will he not be slaughtered. The most important thing is that there are countless teleportation arrays in this world that can allow him to reach any corner of the world in one day. It is precisely because of this that he learned that this world there is not only one Hongmeng continent, but there are other magical areas. He has been to the extremely cold snow country. He has also been to the rumored underworld. He chatted with penguins and swam with water ghosts in the underworld. He has also been to the holy land of spiritual practice, and also visited various secret places. When he was reincarnated for 10,000 years, he already knew the secrets of all regions and sects in this world. In this world, you can probably practice spiritual thoughts, fighting body, and radiant energy. God mind is similar to mental power, the fighting body is the physical body, and Yao Qi is similar to practicing Qi. Because he was trapped on the same day, Ling Yu's Yao Qi cultivation only stayed in the mortal realm and could not break through. With the reincarnation, Ling Yu discovered that his Yao Qi cultivation had always stayed in the mortal realm, but his spiritual thoughts had skyrocketed. As long as his spiritual thoughts were strong enough, he could do many things. His strength was not weaker than any Yao Qi monks. When he was reincarnated for 70,000 years, he even slept with the most beautiful woman in the world. He enjoyed everything wantonly. Even if he was reincarnated on the same day, he still enjoyed it. However, no matter how big this world is, it will eventually end. In the end, he is getting more and more tired. Really tired. When you understand all the secrets of this world, experience everything in this world, and even interact with countless legendary characters, time will always reincarnate. Until now, he's been stuck on the same day for 100,000 years. A whole 100,000 years. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 282. Trapped on the same day for 100,000 years. At this moment, countless people were stunned. Looking at everything that happened on the screen, and looking at some of the pictures that flashed in the Dao Gold list, countless people were really numb. Whoa, can this thing be called a golden finger? What the hell, being trapped on the same day for 100,000 years. A whole 100,000 years. Even if there are countless unexpected things in this world, you will eventually get tired of it. No matter how fun the game is, you will be bored and helpless when you play through it, let alone 100,000 years, even if it is 10,000 years, it will also collapse. Good guy, how did Ling Yu live in 100,000 years? A whole 100,000 years. Is this thing called Goldfinger? Is this a conceptual ability? Worry, it's simply incredible. Are these all golden fingers? This is a negative buff. How can it be a negative buff? This is obviously a very special ability, okay. The same day is repeated infinitely. 100,000 years have passed, and he already knows all the secrets of the world. Tisk, this is an advantage in intelligence. Well, you're right, but, hell, what's the use of knowing more when you're stuck on the same day? Yes, no matter how much you know, there is endless knowledge in your mind, and you know all the secrets, it's useless. Being trapped on this day is always a dead end that cannot be solved. But what if this guy unlocks this ability? Well, what you said makes sense. Only when it can be solved can it be truly heaven-defying. If it can be solved, Ling Yu is a forced king. If it cannot be solved, it will be useless. I just said that this guy could possibly pass the Holy Realm. Co-author, he is a dungeon master. He has mastered everything, and then, he can pass the dungeon without any damage. Is it okay to brush the copy? However, Ling Yu's own spiritual consciousness is also increasing. Even though he is only in the mortal realm, in fact, with 100,000 years of breakthrough spiritual consciousness, he has already become very strong, right? This guy, if he escapes from reincarnation, will be absolutely heaven-defying. It's a pity, I don't know if he can break through. Just like that guy who has been practicing Qi for 3,000 years, hell, he keeps practicing Qi, keeps practicing, tisk, people are stupid. At this time, countless people in the world were sighing. At the same time, the scene turned. In the scene, it was already today, 100,000 years after reincarnation. 15 and in front of him, there was a girl. With a beautiful face, a huge weapon, and wearing a robe, she looked so pitiful. It seemed that Ling Yu had told her something before. At this time, the girl said with some uncertainty, so, you said you had saved great Lord Sumi, what's more, the reincarnation today has already been 100,000 years? Ling Yu chuckled, yes, that is just one of the glorious deeds I have done. But obviously, no one would believe this kind of thing. The girl snorted coldly, that's nonsense. Do you think I will believe what you say? I see you are the one who poisoned me. Ling Yu didn't care about this and said with a smile, don't worry, his mother and I are not the same person. Come with me. Who wants to go with you? You bad guy, don't follow me, the girl said, turned around and left. However, Ling Yu stood there and did not move. He just said lightly, if you go another 3 feet, you will see the fire and the person who wants to harm you. Tisk, whatever you say, I won't believe you anyway, the girl said and continued walking forward. Then, within a few steps, she saw the light of fire. There was really light of fire. At this time, there shouldn't be anyone patrolling. Where did the light of fire come from? She was stunned and saw someone. Holding a torch, he turned to look at her. Her face turned pale. Catch her before she gets away, those people shouted and rushed forward. She turned back in a hurry and hid behind Ling Yu. Do you believe it now? Ling Yu chuckled. Believe it, I believe it, the girl said hurriedly. I haven't said yet, what will happen if you are caught by these people behind the scenes? Ling Yu chuckled. However, the girl just pursed her lips and said nothing. Forget it, when this is solved, you can come with me, Ling Yu said. If we don't say we can't leave, what are we going to do now? The girl said quickly. Walk, Ling Yu said, turned around and left. He just led the girl around and disappeared without a trace. The guys who caught up looked left and right, their faces full of confusion. This place is so big, where did the little saint go? They were at a loss. They obviously saw it. But now, at this time, in front of a tree hole, Ling Yu smiled and said, let's go to the secret passage first. Secret passages? Why enter the secret passage? Moreover, why is there a secret passage here? The girl looked at the secret passage in front of her blankly, a little at a loss. Well, I didn't know that before, but after more experience, I know that there is a secret passage here. If you walk through the end of this secret passage, you can see the person who wants to arrest you. How about it? Are you interested in following me to find out who designed you to be poisoned? Ling Yu laughed. This. The girl hesitated, then frowned, and asked, Are you sure? Are you afraid? Ling Yu chuckled. Afraid? What is this saint afraid of? This saint is afraid that you will hold me back, the girl spoke arrogantly. Well, this girl is actually the little saint of the Wanjie sect, named Qin Yi. The current situation is that Qin Yi was drugged, and in the end, he was. In one reincarnation, because of his overwhelming sense of justice, he stepped forward to save Qin Yi, and then was stabbed to death. And now, he has understood everything about this world. It can be said that he is bored and has no strategy for this copy. Yes, in his opinion, this is the dungeon. When all the dungeons are successfully conquered, there is still a dungeon without a conqueror, or in other words, it is always not good to clear a dungeon without full stars, so he came to conquer this last dungeon. A copy. At this time, as Ling Yu walked into the secret passage first, Qin Yi quickly followed. Finally, at the end, Ling Yu twisted the mechanism, and the stone door suddenly opened, revealing the scene outside. This place is really the back mountain. Moreover, there are 3 people here. 2 of them are dressed in black and masked. The one in the middle is a young man, and he is a bit wretched. When the young man saw Qin Yi, he was stunned for a moment, and then, his face darkened. Damn it, why is she still awake? Obviously, this man is the murderer who poisoned Qin Yi. And Qin Yi also knows this man. This guy is the son of Xianyu, the elder of Wanjie sect, and his name is Situju. Qin Yi was furious. Situju, it's actually you? What poison did you give me? Seeing that the matter was exposed, Situju did not hide it, and sneered, Of course it makes you and me happy. My sacred and inviolable little saint, if I get the cultivation stored in you, you can go one step further. You are the perfect cauldron, who wouldn't want that? Charming, you are shameless. Qin Yi's face turned red with anger and she was a little panicked. I was actually given a love potion? This, for a moment, she panicked and subconsciously looked at Ling Yu. At this time, Situju also noticed Ling Yu, narrowed his eyes slightly, and immediately snorted, Why are you still following a piece of garbage from the mortal realm? Killed. He ordered lightly. As soon as the 2 guys beside him heard this, they took action without saying a word. The 2 of them were very fast, like phantoms, and they were heading towards Ling Yu with their fierce killing blows. Careful, Qin Yi exclaimed. However. Ah! Ling Yu sneered. Aha! The next second, a faster sword light suddenly appeared on the necks of the 2 people. In an instant, the 2 people were lying directly on the ground. Until this moment, the 2 people were still holding their necks, with frightened eyes. The body twisted and trembled. One move. Just one move. Fast and accurate. 2 people were easily killed instantly. Fast. It was too fast. Qin Yi's words had just come out of her mouth, and the 2 people were killed by Ling Yu instantly. It's simply unbelievable. Is this a mortal realm? Is this what a mortal realm should be like? Stupid. At this moment, Situju and even Qin Yi were stupid. Oh. At this, Ling Yu just sneered. Well, in this world, everyone thinks that the cultivation of Yao Qi is the key, it is everything. But everyone knows that the cultivation of combat body, Yao Qi, and divine mind, and the 3 elements together, it is really powerful. And, the most important thing is, no matter it is the combat body, Yao Qi, or divine will, no one is weaker than the other. As for Ling Yu's divine will that has grown for 100,000 years, let alone killing these little minions, are not afraid even if a sect becomes his enemy. Mortal realm, you, how is this possible? Then Situju looked at Ling Yu with shock on his face, completely unaware of what happened. Haha, even in the mortal realm, killing you is just slaughtering chickens and dogs, Ling Yu smiled faintly. How is it possible? Who are you? That Situju was horrified. At this time, Ling Yu wiped the blood on his hands, looked at that Situju, and said lightly, Situju, you have just broken through the Puta realm, and you are so bold. Puta realm. That is an existence 2 realms higher than the mortal realm. Well, anyway, Ling Yu doesn't take it seriously. But, these words fell into the ears of Situju, but he was full of surprise. How did you know I had a breakthrough? He broke through this morning and has never made a move. Only his father knows about this matter, and it is absolutely impossible for others to know. But how did Ling Yu know? How did Ling Yu know? Haha, of course. Yes. After so many years of repeated experience, repeated dungeons, and repeated experiences of the same thing, he naturally knew it. He didn't care about failure, even if he failed, he could start over. So, this Situju's secret, and even Swanya's secret, he knew it all. Of course, he would not say this. He just looked at Situju and said lightly, of course it was your father who said it. Do you know that what you did today is enough to stop my relationship with him? The cooperation between them could even kill him. He looked calm and every move was full of unparalleled confidence, as if what he said was true. And this cooperation. When he heard these 2 words, Situju suddenly broke into a cold sweat and took 2 steps back. His tone trembled slightly. You are the messenger. Snapped. However, the next second, Ling Yu appeared directly in front of him and slapped Situju on the face. The slap made Situju fall to the ground, and the left side of his face was swollen. Quick, too fast. He was obviously just a mortal, but his attack made him in the universal realm unable to see clearly. Could it be that this guy is really a messenger? This one, his expression changed. Then, he heard Ling Yu say calmly, my identity, how dare you say it casually? Feeling Ling Yu's sharp eyes and the murderous intent that was like a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, Situju immediately knelt down in fear and hurriedly said, Situju deserves to die, Situju deserves to die. Please, please forgive me, please forgive me. Ling Yu looked at Situju who was kowtowing, but he sneered in his heart. What kind of cooperation? What kind of messenger? Of course it's fake. He just knows a lot of secrets, so he can pretend as he wants. He knows very well that this Wanjie sect's elder Swanya colluded with the Demon Sea in an attempt to control the forgotten immortal sect alone. And he pretended to be the messenger of the Demon Sea. At this time, Situju begged for mercy. Ling Yu himself threw the dagger at Situ in front of Ju. What does this mean? Situju was stunned. 657 Leave something behind and get out, Ling Yu spoke calmly. As soon as these words came out, Situju trembled all over. Leave something? What? He hesitated. At this time, he heard Ling Yu's cold voice again. Do you want me to do something? Situ. Ju was all excited and said quickly, no, little one, do it yourself. He said, gritted his teeth, picked up the dagger, and then, poof. Ah! The sound of a sharp blade entering flesh was accompanied by a scream, and Situju's arm fell directly to the ground. Dare to ask the messenger, are you still satisfied? Situju gritted his teeth and asked with cold sweat on his forehead, but he was not disrespectful at all. Just recognize it, Ling Yu spoke calmly, then turned around and walked deep into the back mountain. And Situju, watching Ling Yu leave, also breathed a long sigh of relief. As for Qin Yi, seeing Ling Yu leave, she was also afraid, naturally hurried to follow. Back mountain, there is a phoenix here. Nanming Phoenix, very arrogant, faced Qin Yi's request, it ignored it at all. The saint is useless. This Nanming Phoenix is an elder riding the ride was not something they could ride. However, Ling Yu just said a word and made the phoenix tremble and send them back to the sect respectfully. Well, of course it was a threat. Ling Yu also knew the phoenix's Achilles heel very well. Where is it? If this Nanming Phoenix doesn't send them back, then he will pull out the phoenix's feathers. There is no other way, the phoenix can only carry them back to the sect. On the phoenix's back. Ling Yu looked at the man who was feeling hot all over. Qin Yi smiled lightly and said, I have helped you deal with Situju, but the charm poison in you, are you sure you want me to help you too? Qin Yi's heart trembled, and her face turned red instantly. There is no cure for the charm poison, only. To be honest, it would be better to take advantage of Situju, but... Qin Yi whispered again, I the Demon King of 7 Industries is already engaged. In 2 years, I will marry him. If it's with you, do you know who the Demon Emperor of 7 Industries is? Of course I know. Ling Yu smiled. The Demon King of 7 Industries is one of the 3 emperors of Hongmeng continent, and the strongest being in the northern star region. Not only tens of millions but millions of people have died at his hands. Then do you know what will happen to you if the 7 Industry Demon Emperor finds out? Qin Yi bit her red lips, and the blush on her face became more and more attractive. So what? Ling Yu smiled. 7 Industry Demon King, there is nothing I can do. I said, I have been reincarnated for 100,000 years on the same day. Even if I help you detoxify today, I will be reincarnated again at 9 o'clock in the morning, and everything will disappear. Nothing will be remembered, only me, continuing to reincarnate. Please, please detoxify me. Qin Yi looked at Ling Yu with a blushing face, exhaling like blue, and her eyes became more and more blurred. Ling Yu chuckled. Damn, when I traveled through time, I always encountered such vulgar plots. But I like it. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 283. At this moment, countless people in the universe looked at what was happening on the screen, and everyone was speechless. Woe, why did such a good thing happen to him? Let go of that girl and let me come. Damn it, I'm so hummed up. Okay, what about the back? Hurry up and show me the back. I also want to see the later content. As long as it allows me to see it, I will pay for it. Damn it, you are all devils, right? However, this little saint from the Forgotten Immortal sect is really good, I am moved by it. Hiss, I really envy this guy Ling Yu. What the hell, he reincarnates day by day, repeats this day, and can always accomplish countless things and conquer countless heroines. Good guy, I really envy him. Got it? I'm so jealous. Even though I've been trapped on the same day forever, if I have such a beautiful woman as my companion, I'm willing to be trapped forever. Let alone 100,000 years, even if it's 1,000,000 years, I'll be there. No matter what. Millions of years? Laughing to death, are you worthy? At this time, countless people were watching everything that happened in the Dao Golden List. They watched Ling Yu attack the girl almost in an instant. They were all envious and jealous. Really envious. But at this time, in the picture, looking at Qin Yi who was about to fall in his arms, Ling Yu naturally didn't care about the danger behind Qin Yi. What kind of demon king of 7 industries? Why should you tolerate him? Just kidding. He has been reincarnated on the same day, 7 times. There is no way that the demon king of industry knows about it. Anyway, everything will be reset at dawn, So what is he afraid of? So, naturally, just do what you need to do. To help detoxify, you must act like you are helping to detoxify. This it lasted for 3 hours. And finally, when the sun shone and Ling Yu opened his eyes again, he thought he had returned to his cabin and woke up alone. This cabin was his trapped in the era of the three emperors, the origin of July 26th. The most important thing is that this cabin is also very strange. Every time Lin Yu wakes up, it appears in a different location. Well, what should we do today? He lazied, hit it, and then stretched out his hand and touched the softness. Ling Yu. He opened his eyes suddenly and saw Qin Yi lying next to him. At this moment Qin Yi, with tears in her eyes, flushed face and a little angry, big liar, didn't you say you would go back to yesterday at dawn? This. For a moment, Ling Yu was stunned. He thought of some possibility, his breathing became a little rapid, and he quickly asked what day is today. July 27. July 27. July 27. Ling Yu murmured, and then he became more and more excited, and his breathing became even more rapid. It's out. Ha ha ha, 100,000 years. I finally came out, and I finally don't have to continue reincarnation. I'm finally out. At this moment, Ling Yu laughed wildly. 100,000 years. Who knows how he got here these 100,000 years? In the beginning, he still had some spirit of exploration and was very excited. He could do any bad thing, regardless of the cost. Anyway, it will be reset the next day. But when he understands all the secrets of the entire world, what comes is endless fatigue. The people he kills will be reset and resurrected. The realm he broke through, he also fell back to the mortal realm again. Except for memory, all external things would disappear. He even thought of committing suicide in various ways. He spent a long time in this reincarnation committing suicide. What is the most important thing? He would happily go to dangerous places. He would steal all the powerful magic weapons and treasures openly. It can be said that he has tried all the ways to die in the world. But, 100,000 years. 100,000 years. He will still fall into endless pain. But now, he is out. At this time, countless people in the world were amazed when they saw this scene. Oh! 100,000 years? Did it really come out? It can definitely come out. If it can't come out, what kind of golden finger is this? 100,000 years. After a whole 100,000 years, good guy, he has understood all the secrets of this world. There is nothing he does not understand anymore. This Ling Yu is already invincible, okay. From now on, I am willing to call this Ling Yu the strongest. The strongest fart. At least, he is the strongest in this world. It's so funny, there are so many people stronger than him. Who is he the strongest? Indeed, he is not the strongest at all, he is just the strongest in intelligence, news, and even all kinds of knowledge. Haha, this is already considered the strongest. Indeed, when you know all the secrets, if you are not the strongest, who is the strongest? It's a pity that this ability that reincarnates on the same day is a bit like a one-time ability, and it is far from making him stronger. Indeed, if he can control this power and actively activate this power, then he will be truly the strongest. Alas, if it were this power, wouldn't it be the same as rebirth? Good guy, Gu Yu Fang Yuan calls him an expert, spring-autumn cicada, right? Oh, don't tell me, this is really like a rebirth. I just don't know if Ling Yu can master this power. At this time, countless people were discussing. To be honest, countless people had already expected that Ling Yu could come out of this reincarnation. If he couldn't come out, how could he be called a golden finger? Now that he has come out, he is normal. It's just. I came out, but what about that ability? What about the ability to anchor time on the same day? Has it disappeared? If it really disappeared, that would be a pity. This ability, it's truly heaven-defying. As long as you control this ability, you can be considered strong. But if you don't have this ability, you're just average. Even if you reach the top of this world and become the pinnacle existence of this world, so what? Compared with the peak of normal means, conceptual ability is really strong. At this time, countless people were thinking and thinking. At the same time, in the picture, along with Ling Yu's excitement, at the same time, bursts of information also came from his mind. He was suddenly stunned, then frowned, and muttered, the power of time and space? Can you reverse time and space within a certain range and reset everything to its original state? He was a little shocked. At this time, the eyes of countless people in the world also flashed. It seems that Ling Yu can also control this power? The power of time and space? Reset time and space? Co-author, can this guy really control this power? Countless people are shocked and confused. It would not be surprising if we simply said that Ling Yu understood all the secrets of this world. At most, he can be regarded as a reborn person who knows a lot. However, with the addition of this power of time and space, it is completely different. As long as he doesn't follow his wishes, he can reset it all over again. This is simply a time loop. What a rogue. At this moment, countless people were numb. This shit is getting more and more outrageous. At this moment, you can see that the scene changes. Ling Yu has escaped from this 100,000-year prison, and he naturally has to find a way to solve the problem in front of him. Naturally, we have to deal with the 7-industry demon emperor, one of the 3 emperors of Hongmeng continent. After all, he stole his fiancée, and there was no doubt that he had a deadly feud. In this case, he will cultivate some power of his own. Then, just start with the Forgotten Immortal sect. After 100,000 years of reincarnation, he knows everyone in the Wanxian sect, knows the secrets of everyone in the Wanxian sect, and knows the identities of everyone in the Wanxian sect. At this time, the scene changed, and Ling Yu arrived at the Forgotten Immortal sect. Of course, accompanying him was the elder Yang Qing. This elder, Yang Qing, came to save Qin Yi and happened to bump into Ling Yu. At first, he drew his sword, but Ling Yu said, "Your father asked me to tell you that after 15 years, he no longer blames you." This sentence directly conquered Yang Qing. Of course, it's not really a subjugation, mainly because of the news about his father. In order to get news about his father, so what if he helps? So, Ling Yu arrived at Wanxian sect. When he arrived at Wanxian sect, the first thing he did was to find the sect leader. The leader of Wanxian sect, Qinji. As for Qinji, she is also a beauty. He looks great, but the weapon is also very vicious, it's simply terrifying. Under normal circumstances, it would be impossible for Qinji to see him as a mortal level minion. However, after Ling Yu asked Yang Qing to tell her some words, Qinji was willing to meet her. After seeing her, Qinji looked Ling Yu up and down, and then said calmly, "The Guisu Great Dream Technique is a top-secret technique passed down from generation to generation by the masters of the Forgotten Immortal section. Why do you know the key to it?" Yes, what Ling Yu asked Yang Qing to tell him before was one of the formulas of the Guisu Great Dream Technique. Only then did Qinji want to see him. As for how he found out? Haha, what a joke. If he didn't even know this, he would have lived like a dog in the past 100,000 years. Faced with Qinji's question, Ling Yu chuckled, "You are wrong. I even know the flaws of the Guisu Great Dream Technique, not just the key points." However, these words made Qinji's face darken. "Come down, nonsense. I have forgotten the kung fu passed down by the ancestors of the immortal sect over 3,000 years. How can there be any flaws? Explain your purpose. Otherwise, you're welcome." She snorted coldly. At this moment, the terrifying pressure was instantly crushed towards Ling Yu. However, facing this pressure, Ling Yu just smiled lightly and said lightly, I advise you to take it easy. The internal injuries caused by practicing the Gig's a Great Dream technique, without me, it would take you at least half a year to recover. You. Qinji was shocked and looked at Ling Yu in disbelief. This guy not only knew about her practice last night, he also knew that she was injured. At this moment, she looked solemn and asked in a deep voice, who are you? How do you know? How do I know that? It doesn't matter who I am. Ling Yu spoke calmly. At this moment, he stepped up the steps step by step and said calmly, however, I don't like to raise my head to talk to people, and I don't like to be threatened. At this moment, Ling Yu was already standing in front of Qinji. He looked down at Qinji. The confidence and surging pressure on his body made people breathless. At this time, Ling Yu heard Yu said calmly, in addition, I know you have two worries now. The first is the Sea of Demons, Chixiao Pavilion, and wooing the Forgotten Immortal sect at the same time, but you don't want to be attached to anyone. Qinji's breathing was a little rapid. She looked at Ling Yu in disbelief, and said in disbelief, the merger of the sects is the top secret of the Wangxian section. How did you know? Of course you told me yourself before. Ling Yu smiled, but he didn't say much. He just said lightly, this is not what you should care about. This second thing, above the wheel, is detachment. You have been trapped in the 9 burning wheel realm for many years. Not only have you been unable to break through, your cultivation has also begun to regress. As long as you agree to make a deal with me, I can help you with both of these things. Trade. Qinji frowned and looked at Ling Yu. To be honest, she was really moved. But why do you believe that the young man in front of you can solve these two things? However, she soon discovered that she had no choice. Finally, she took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, what do you want? Ling Yu smiled, I can borrow the Tai's Hang Qingqi to use it. Only the sect master and the saint can use the Tai's Hang Qingqi. Qinji groaned. Finally, I agreed. At the same time, on the other side, Xuanyu went back with Situju to talk about the matter. Xuanyu was angry. He knew very well that the messenger was not a young man at all. Situju was also stunned. What the hell, your hand was broken in vain. The most important thing is that at this moment, someone reported Ling Yu's whereabouts. Ling Yu, this guy pretending to be a messenger, actually delivered it to your door in person? Xuanyu sneered. At this moment, he went directly to the sect master's hall without saying a word. Dezhao, at this time, you can see that the scene changes. Boom. The door of the sect master's palace was opened directly from the outside. But what they saw was a burly, somewhat old guy in robes striding in. The person who came was none other than Xuanyu. Haha, a guest from Wangxian sect has arrived. Did I miss anything? Elder Xuanyu's voice was extremely rich, and his cold eyes fell on Ling Yu. Elder Xuanyu, Qinji paused, frowned, and looked at Xuanyu. Xuanyu meets the sect master. Xuanyu gave a false salute, and then asked lightly, I heard that the little saint was kidnapped after finishing the ceremony. Elder Yang Qing just brought the little saint back this morning. Is this possible? What Elder Xuanyu said is true, Qinji nodded. Oh? It seems that you are the thief who kidnapped the little saint. Xuanyu's eyes turned to Ling Yu, with a terrifying murderous intent in his eyes. At this moment, he moved violently. Everyone present was caught off guard. The Grand Elder of Wangxian sect, now took action brazenly, even if it was Qinji, they all didn't react. You. She was horrified. She never expected that Xuanyu would suddenly attack. Why is this? However, she didn't have time to think more. At this time, her face was full of worry. Ling Yu, but she had hope for a breakthrough. If she was killed by Xuanyu like this, She felt a chill in her heart when she looked at Ling Yu. However, she found that, at the same time as Wanjie took action, Ling Yu had already moved a few steps away without knowing when. When Wanjie stood where Ling Yu originally was, Ling Yu was already standing behind him, and, with his fingers, he also aimed at the back of Wanjie's head. In the palm of his hand, a series of spiritual lights flickered. Ling Yu's cold voice sounded faintly. I didn't expect that Elder Wanjie would be so enthusiastic towards me when we first met. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 284. At this time, countless people in the world were a little surprised when they saw what happened in the picture. Good guy, you are really starting to show off, starting with the Forgotten Immortal sect, and then gradually cannibalizing the entire world. Why do I feel like I have the illusion of Leaky? Tisk, Leaky? Is this Ling Yu worthy? However, I have to say that I do have that feeling. This Ling Yu is a bit pretentious with information. At this time, countless people were sighing. But as they saw, the scene was still going on. Elder Wanjie still couldn't believe it. He didn't know how Ling Yu ran behind him. At this time, that Qin also reacted and asked immediately. Seeing that the attack failed, Wanjie could only temporarily control his thoughts. The most important thing is that Qin also named Ling Yu as the Little Saint King, and no one in the sect could do it again. Rude to the Little Saint King. Now, Wanjie is numb. At least, on the surface, he can't embarrass Ling Yu. Wanjie left, but today's matter obviously cannot be forgotten. Wanjie and that Situju was still discussing in the secret room how to kill Ling Yu. Anyway, when they thought about it, there must be something fishy about this kid being named the Little Saint King. This matter couldn't just be forgotten, they must be found. In the field. But I didn't expect that Ling Yu would just come to my door. Who wants me to die every day? Ling Yu sneered and entered directly. Ling Yu. At this moment, Wanjie's pupils shrank. How did this guy find this place? He was a little surprised, and then his face darkened again and he sneered. Ling Yu, how dare you break into my cultivation place? Since you break in, the identity of this little holy king cannot protect you. At this moment, a fierce murderous intention surged in his heart. This Ling Yu simply didn't know whether to live or die. He actually dared to come here? He really wasn't afraid of death. The terrifying pressure fell on Ling Yu, as if the next second it would be like crushing Ling Yu. However, Ling Yu just snorted coldly, feeling confident and said lightly, Wanjie old dog, the superiors sent you to dormant in the Wangxian sect for 30 years, and the secret of Tai's Hangqingqi was solved. If you don't open it, you won't be able to steal the Gig's Great Dream skill, and now you dare to allow your son to touch the fiancé of the 7 Industry Demon Emperor. Don't you want this year's antidote? Ling Yu said, and an elixir appeared in his hand. Along with Ling Yu's words, along with the elixir in Ling Yu's hand, Wanjie's pupils shrank, and a huge wave of panic arose in his heart. This 750. The antidote to Jiaoda pill. He looked at the elixir in horror. Is this guy really a messenger? Shocked. At this moment, Wanjie was really shocked. Without saying a word, he knelt down on one knee and said in a deep voice, Old slave Xianyu, see the messenger. Behind, Situju was still standing there blankly. Wanjie shouted in a low voice, Juer, kneel down quickly. Situju came to his senses and hurriedly knelt down. He was so frightened. He was even more horrified. Damn it, didn't you say that Ling Yu was a fake before? Why has it become real now? This special thing, is it true or false? Everyone else is numb. But Dad is already kneeling down, what else can he do? At this moment, Ling Yu's voice sounded faintly, Situju, I just want you to make a decision. Arms, the net is already wide open. Who knew that not only did you father and son not repent, but you almost ruined my big event. Do you know your sin? Ling Yu's tone was very calm. However, when it fell in the ears of these two people, they were frightened. Wanjie quickly said, "Messenger, forgive me." The old slave was blind for a moment and made this mistake. The poison of the Jiao poison pill in the old slave's body has become more and more severe in recent days. I also asked the messenger to give me medicine to relieve the old slave's pain. I will give you all my orders in the future and the old slave will not hesitate to die. Ling Yu glanced at Wanjie, and after a long time, he said calmly, "That's all. From today on, no one can act rashly in Wangxian sect without my order." With that said, Ling Yu threw the elixir directly over. Wanjie was delighted and hurriedly thanked him. At the same time, he hurriedly put the elixir into his mouth. But this old guy has a suspicious temper. He was so easy to take the elixir. The antidote was given to him. He was a little confused and a little surprised. However, at this time, Ling Yu's voice sounded again, "Don't think that you will be fine after taking the elixir. I refined the elixir. Whenever I want to destroy the effect of the elixir in your body, you will die of poison." Hiss. At this moment, Wanjie took a breath. At the same time, he felt his heart tightening, as if chains appeared and bound him. Wanjie was shocked and doubtful, and he was even more horrified. But his expression changed again and again. After that, he finally had to kneel in front of Ling Yu, showing his loyalty respectfully. But when he looked up, Ling Yu had left. There is no doubt that this Xianyu has been conquered by him. No matter whether this Xianyu, BGDJ, is sincere, he took refuge, or because of the elixir. At least, this Wanjie, in a short period of time, has become a dog under him. The next step is to go to Tai's Hang Qingqi. Then, the next step is to help Qingji cure the disease. Hurt. Buzz. At this moment, as Ling Yu's strong palm force poured into Qingji's body, Qingji exclaimed, her face turned red. "Well, the following content is not good, so I skipped it." At this time, the screen kept flashing. Countless people in all the worlds have finally understood how terrifying Ling Yu's accumulation of 100,000 years has been. There are many secrets, and even if a long time has passed, Ling Yu still has an absolute advantage. This is because the intelligence is poor. Ling Yu, relying entirely on his intelligence, he began to show off and conquer. This made countless people in the world marvel at him. This Ling Yu has the internal smell of Wanjie. Knows everything, well, although it doesn't know everything, but this kind of IQ crushing is really incredible. By the way, shouldn't this Ling Yu be an IQ golden finger? How did it become such a conceptual golden finger? Nonsense, he has the power of time and space, he can start over at any time, and he can continue to refresh dungeons at any time. This ability is simply unbelievable. This is a second week player. What second week player? This is a closed beta player. Laughing to death, are closed beta players okay? However, this feeling is really like this. To be honest, Ling Yu with this ability is already invincible, okay. Indeed, he is already invincible. Alas, this ability is truly unparalleled. At this time, countless people sighed, and they saw that a new divine pattern appeared in the golden list of the avenue. Second place concept gold finger. Representative number 3, Hongmeng Continent Ling Yu. He is a time traveler who resets the real 100,000 years infinitely on the same day. During these 100,000 years, he continued to explore and experience. Because of the reset, he can do anything regardless of the consequences. He has insight into all secrets and everything in the world. He is proficient in swords, guns, swords and halberds, chess, calligraphy and painting, formations and elixirs, weapon refining and military arts, as well as strategy and martial arts. For 100,000 years, he has been decisive in killing, and he will not show mercy to those who deserve to be killed. He is indifferent to life and death. In the past 100,000 years, he has killed too many people, and he has already taken everything lightly. He plans and then acts, he knows everything, he plans everything, even the most powerful enemy has his secrets and weaknesses. Therefore, no matter how powerful the enemy is, no matter how powerful the force is, they cannot escape his plan. He has been among thousands of flowers, and not a single leaf has touched his body. In 100,000 years, he has acquired so many women that he despises beauty. Hereby, give out rewards. At this moment, along with the appearance of divine patterns in the Dao Golden List. At the same time, Ling Yu also appeared in the picture. At this time, Ling Yu was sitting on the edge of the forgotten immortal sex ties Hang Qingqi. Buzz. At the same time, a ball of golden light also appeared in front of him. The golden light fell directly in front of him, and then merged into his whole body. Well. At this moment, Ling Yu felt energetic all over his body, feeling the power rising continuously from his body, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but smile. His Yao Qi cultivation improved by leaps and bounds at this moment, almost in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye, he reached the Nine Suns reincarnation realm. And his ability, the power of time and space. At this moment, he also evoked a smile. This ability has been strengthened to a great extent. His own cultivation is nothing, really what is powerful is the power of time and space. Very good. Ling Yu clenched his fists, his eyes flashed with golden light. There are no challenges in this world anymore. I wonder what kind of challenges these protagonists of all worlds, the sons of destiny, will bring to me. Ling Yu looked at the Dao Gold List with great interest. To be honest, after he knew all the secrets of this world, he really felt that there was no challenge. Only the real unknown was the challenge. And now, he seemed to see it again, something new. At the same time, countless people in all heavens and worlds were praising. This Ling Yu is really confident. Another guy who challenges the destiny of all the worlds. However, in terms of ability, Ling Yu can really be regarded as one of the top ones. Indeed, with his weird time resetting power, countless protagonists can't get enough of him. If you can't beat it, try again. If you can't beat it, try again. One day you can beat it. If one day is not enough, just 2 days, if 2 days are not enough, then 10 days, you will be able to beat it one day. By the way, who do you think are Ling Yu's opponents? Which guys? Well, with time and space anchored, no one can beat Ling Yu. There will always be a time when Ling Yu will kill the enemy, no matter who comes. Oh? Then I still think Guyu Fangyuan can compete with Ling Yu. Guyu Fangyuan? Tisk, there is a spring and autumn cicada in Guyu Fangyuan. This guy can do it all over again. Moreover, after being rewarded by the great Dao Golden List, this spring and autumn cicada has also become stronger. I feel that it is not weaker than this transcendent power of time and space. Well, Guyu Fangyuan can definitely make gestures. What about the rest? Isn't it possible for others to quarrel with Ling Yu? As for the others, I'm afraid it's just Wanjie, right? Given Wanjie's omniscience of information, even if Ling Yu refreshes or resets time, Wanjie will read Ling Yu's memory from the information immediately, which is equivalent to resetting time in disguise. Retain the memory. Indeed, Wanjie's information perception is absolutely invincible. Even if he is not invincible, he will still be in an invincible state. It seems like these are the only two, right? Time related. Only Guyu Fangyuan and Wanjie could spar with Ling Yu. Damn you, don't you take Wang Ling seriously? Restart timeline? Restart the world? Who wouldn't? Wang Ling, just kick him out, this system can't bear him. The rest, anyway, I feel that it is difficult to deal with this Ling Yu, even if she how comes, unless Shihao can find Ling Yu's plug-in and seal Ling Yu's plug-in. Seal? Is it possible? Shihao doesn't follow the time route. By the way, if we take the time route, didn't Han Li at his peak also follow the time route? Time Dao ancestor alas. Although Han Li will become the Taoist of time in the future, he has not yet touched time. Hold the sky bottle. The heaven palm vase is a real treasure. The complete heaven palm vase is also an existence that can travel through time and space. Moreover, as a reward from the Great Dao Gold ranking, this sky palm bottle has also recovered part of its power, right? If you put it like that, then I think Chen Ang can also fight Ling Yu. Even if Ling Yu anchors time, Chen Ang can directly cross time and space, cross the world, and leave the area anchored by time, making him innately invincible. I think Li Jing can fight Ling Yu. No matter how well Ling Yu anchors and locks time, Li Jing will still have to kneel down with his sword. At this time, countless people in the world are discussing and watching everything happening in the picture. Ling Yu's ability is indeed weird and outrageous. After all, it anchors time and space. But it is not that no one can pose a threat to him. Han Li at his peak, even Wanjie, etc., can pose a threat to Ling Yu. It does not mean that you are invincible if you anchor time and space. There are many people who have ways to target you. However, Ling Yu has still surpassed a large number of the protagonist is the son of destiny. There is no doubt that this Ling Yu definitely belongs to the first echelon. At this time, in the blue and white world, the power of time and space, anchoring time and space, Mo Qian looked at everything that happened in the Dao Golden List, and immediately raised his eyebrows slightly. This ability is really outrageous. However, this ability is a bit tricky. The triggering method is unknown, and the blocking method is unknown. Only contained objects can resist this power, Master Go spoke. Oh? Containment object? Mo. Qian's heart moved and he asked curiously, is there any containment object that can resist this power of time and space? Master Go smiled and said directly, mimetic containment objects can easily restrain Ling Yu. Similarly, against the power of time and space, there are also. When he said this, he suddenly paused and then smiled. You will know in the future that many contained objects are even things that should not be known to others. Once they are known, their characteristics may be revealed. Mo Qian nodded. At the same time, he also felt that he should be able to break the ability to anchor time and space. His ability can completely shoot people to another world and escape from the area anchored by time and space. I don't know who the next child of destiny or conceptual ability will be, at this time, Master Go said, and at the same time, he subconsciously looked at the Great Dao Golden List. But what he saw was that in the Great Avenue Golden List, as the previous pictures disappeared, new divine patterns continued to gather in the picture. Finally, it condensed into lines of golden characters. The inventory of the 3 representative characters of the second place concept golden finger is over. The 4th representative figure of the second conceptual gold finger, let's start taking stock. The second place is the 4th representative figure of the concept gold finger, Mo Qian in the blue and white world. Go yet? Mo Qian. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 285. At this moment, as the 4th world of the Great Dao Gold List was exposed, countless people's pupils shrank at this moment. Blue and white world? Mo Qian? Wait a minute, isn't this the world of the Blue and White Society? Blue and White Club? Damn it, is it that world that can send messages across the heavens, that big boss? Blue and White Society? Mo Qian. Good guy, now I declare that the real strongest person, the real boss has appeared, I am Mo Qian's dog. Laughing to death, don't you know that you are such a poor dog? If Mo Qian was not the kind of existence everyone thought, wouldn't it be a big loss? How could you be so embarrassed? Anyone who can be on the list, as long as they are children of luck, are much better than us. What's more, this person is still the golden finger of conceptual ability. Which conceptual ability do you think is weak? When you say that, it's really true. Good guy, it can't really be the blue and white club, right? It really showed up. I don't know how powerful this Emokian is, he can actually cross the heavens. Haha, so what if it spans the heavens? Is it different for Chen-Ang to cross the heavens, dash? It's different. Although Chen-Ang can cross the heavens, have you seen him enter the world of Ten Colds? Did you see him appear in the live broadcast in the Easter egg at the end? No. Therefore, compared to Chen-Ang, I still feel that Emokian is more powerful. When you say so, it is indeed the case. Not necessarily, maybe, Chen-Ang didn't like those existences at all. So, there is no time travel. Indeed, it makes sense. Good guy, don't you even care about the creation scepter in the Shilen world? I don't have too much of this kind of thing. What is the creation scepter? After all, it is traditional power. Compared with conceptual power, no matter how contrary traditional power is, it is useless. Even if you are the immortal emperor, even if you are the supreme power, even if you are the demon king who destroys the world, you will either kneel under Li Jing's sword and receive the blade with your bare hands, or you will be ruthlessly reset by Ling Yu's time and space reset. In short, traditional power is really not enough in the face of conceptual power. Tisk, you can't say that. That's because you haven't met the real strongest person. Just like Li Jing, when facing the real strongest person, the strongest person only needs a thought to kill him directly. After erasing it, how could he still wield the sword? If you can't swing a sword, there is no way to trigger this conceptual ability. The conceptual ability is indeed unsolvable, and it is indeed against the sky, but it also depends on who falls on it. If you say so, there's nothing wrong with it. However, even though that is the case, isn't Chen-Ang not interested in the river god's abilities? That's 6 times the return. Isn't it tempting to wonder what would happen if he threw the creation scepter into the river? Even if he is not interested in the creation scepter, I remember that he still has the gold ship of creation, right? Just throw the golden boat of creation into the river? Then, 6 times the number of golden ships of creation appeared, which makes me excited just thinking about it. Create a golden ship? That's a golden ship. So, what do other forms of golden ships of creation look like? Create a purple gold ship, create a black gold ship. Create a golden ship. Create a mithril gold ship. Create a silver and gold ship. Create a golden ship. Outrageous, you are the one who is really outrageous. It doesn't matter what his other forms are like, as long as he returns 6 times. Tisk, by the way, if I throw one wife into the river, will I get 6 wives? Why the hell are you talking about the river god again? Isn't it Emokian? Emokian? I don't know what kind of ability Emokian is this time. At this time, countless people were discussing, looking at the words blue and white world in the picture, everyone was very excited. After all, it had appeared before, and now, it appeared again, and naturally there was only excitement. The blue words before Baishi's note simply made everyone excited. Now that someone suspected of being the blue and white society has appeared, who wouldn't be excited? At the same time, in the mysterious world. Well, blue and white world, Emokian, Klein looked at the divine patterns in the Grand Avenue gold list, pondering, his eyes twinkling. Is it you? This question came to his mind. He couldn't help but subconsciously look at the note on the table. He repeatedly observed the handwriting on the note and even the material of the note itself, but found that there was no extraordinary power or anything special on it, just like an ordinary note. But, how is this possible? That kind of existence that can transcend all the worlds, really uses an ordinary piece of paper? Or is it because I'm not strong enough and can't feel the power at all? In short, he was puzzled. During this period, he couldn't sleep well and couldn't eat. I have been thinking about this issue all the time and want to know what the Blue and White Club is. As a result, during this period of time, he has been observing the Deo Gold list, observing more carefully. However, it never appeared. Until today. In the Blue and White world, Mo Kyung appears. At this moment, Klein cheered up. To be honest, he really wanted to know why. Why did that person send him a note specifically, but no one else did? Is there some special connection between your own world and his world? Or something else? In short, he now has too many questions that he wants to know clearly. Maybe, this time, all his questions can be solved. At the same time, in the world of fighting spirit. Well, in the Blue and White world, Mo Kyung is also a strong conceptual person, Xiao Yan smiled bitterly. There are more and more strong people now. The previous river god and Li Jing were not strong in themselves, but Ling Yu appeared later. Good guy, not only has he mastered the conceptual ability, but he is still in a fantasy world, and he can still become extremely powerful. He only feels that his power is getting smaller and smaller, and he is incomparable with those existences. Now, the Blue and White world appears again. Who knows what kind of outrageous boss this is? Xiao Yan smiled bitterly. He only felt the pressure growing. Even though he was Yao Zun, he couldn't say anything at this moment. I really don't know what to say. At this time, in the information world, Blue and White world, ink is poor, Wanjie's pupils shrank. This name was like some kind of information switch. When he learned this name, endless information poured into his brain instantly. Well. He groaned. Even though his power was now so strong, he still groaned, it was a bit too much. After a long time, he came back to his senses and looked at the Grand Avenue gold list, his eyes becoming complicated. Mo Kyung, it turns out that the name of the black man is Mo Kyung. I see. That's it? Wanjie murmured, clenching his fists subconsciously. Mo Kyung is definitely his biggest obstacle in the future. To be honest, he didn't even think he had any hope of defeating him. He pursed his lips and looked at the Deo gold list with an even deeper look. At the same time, in the Blue and White world, Dream Island. As Master Go and Mo Kyung saw the divine patterns in the Deo golden list, they fell silent at the same time. After a long time, Master Go took a deep breath from his cigar, silently turned his head and looked at Mo Kyung, his eyes a little resentful. Mo Kyung's scalp went numb. Master Go, why are you looking at me like this? Good boy, I never thought that you are the lucky child of our world. Master Go came back to his senses and looked at Mo Kyung with some surprise. Who knows, maybe it's the same name. Besides, it's not necessarily our world, right? Mo Kyung said with a somewhat unnatural smile. Oh? Not our world, Master Go looked at Mo Kyung with a half smile. Mo Kyung smiled awkwardly. In fact, when the divine mark appeared, he had a hunch that it was definitely him. Moreover, his characteristics are also very unnatural. Until now, I have yet to encounter a being whose information depth is more impressive than his absolute hit. It is also a contained object, and he can photograph a certain world with just one slap. This shows that his ability is incredible. It's just that. By the way, what characteristics does your boy have? Let me think about it. Sweet stance? Or the alien effect? Isn't this some incredible conceptual ability? The sweet attitude is something that every club member has. As Mr. Go spoke, he looked at Mo Kyung and said with a smile, why did you come into contact with the Blue and White Society? It seems to be the Deep One effect. It's impossible for you to rely on the deep diver effect to become a child of luck, right? Or do you think you have any hidden characteristics that haven't been revealed yet? This. Mo Kyung broke into a cold sweat, and his information was naturally uploaded to the Blue and White Club. Similarly, Mr. Go also knows the situation. After all, the two are partners. If it was normal, he would be fine. But he made the list. The characteristics he possesses might still be a magical skill in other worlds. But in this world where contained objects are everywhere, it's nothing. It is not difficult to deduce that there must be something else on him. Before Mo Kyun could say anything, Master Go continued to smile and said, "The guy who gave Klein the note before was also you, right? Let me guess, what is your ability?" Space transfer? Well, I've never seen you show this characteristic. What could it be? Well, I heard that your hit rate was extremely high during the exam. Your ability is not related to the hit, right? Master Go is indeed a Go Lord. Combined with the previous information, Mo Kyung almost guessed it. Mo Kyung's scalp was numb. Master Go usually looks like a rough guy, but his thoughts are unusually delicate. Sure enough, no one who can become a member is mediocre. He smiled bitterly in his heart and said, "Don't guess, just say it. In fact, I do have a characteristic. I don't know how it appeared on me. Well, this characteristic is named by me as absolute hit. That's it. How else can he hide it? Anyway, it was exposed by the Deo gold list. Instead of waiting passively, he might as well say it himself first." "Good boy." Master Go smiled, and then he looked sideways at Mo Kyung and said calmly, "Do you know what this means?" Mo Kyung's scalp is numb. As a member of the club, although he has just graduated, he also understands the Blue and White Club. The Blue and White Club will never tolerate characteristics or contained objects. Maybe he will be imprisoned somewhere again. A containment room to conduct various experiments. Directly downgraded from a member to a research subject. Haha, just kidding. Seeing Mo Kyung like this, Mr. Go smiled slightly and patted Mo Kyung on the shoulder. "You are already an official member of the club, just report it. Do you think it will be a big deal?" Over the years, it's not uncommon for members to develop special characteristics. Well, that's it. Mo Kyung was stunned. He didn't expect that it was just like this. If not, slice you, Master Go was a little funny. Mo Kyung was ashamed. However, it seemed to be like this. At the same time, he felt relieved in his heart. "Let's go." Master Go smiled, turned around and left. Mo Kyung Momo followed. Of course, the two of them did not forget to pay attention to the Deo Golden List. At this moment, with the exposure of the Great Deo Golden List, countless people in the world are discussing. At this moment, it can be seen that a new picture finally appears in the Great Deo Golden List. That was in an aircraft carrier base. At this moment, the base was filled with harsh and anxious calls for help. The left wing of the Battle Shadow fighter was hit by, requesting, support. Request support. In the base, someone quickly asked about the situation. Battle Shadow, report the situation. The left wing of the plane was penetrated by a mysterious object. I don't know what it is, please support. Fighting shadows. Fighting shadows. Please reply. With the questioning, countless people in the base fell into deep thought. Someone slapped the table, very angry. Damn it, was it destroyed? Check out the transferred images quickly, a doctor spoke. Soon, the image in the cockpit came out. Judging from the reflection of the pilot's helmet, the vague thing hitting the wing seemed to be a stick, and it was definitely not a bird. The key is, where did the stick-like object come from at an altitude of 6,000 meters? A missile? Or something else? Immediately, more planes went to chase it, intending to catch this thing. The plane quickly approached the target. The fishing net was useless. Nothing can stop it. Finally, a pilot successfully saw what it was. It was an arrow. An arrow flying through the air. When the image was transmitted back to the command headquarters, everyone was numb. What the hell is this, an arrow? The key is that this arrow is still rising in orbit, and its direction is heading towards the sun. This is an arrow chasing the sun. The key is, what the hell is this? Possible. An arrow shot towards the sun? What the hell is this, Wanjie? Where does the kinetic energy of an arrow come from? The key is that the speed of the arrow has not slowed down at all. It has been flying at a constant speed, breaking away from the gravity of the Earth. Just like that, it orbited the Earth and headed towards the sun. I'm numb. At this moment, countless people in the command center were numb. At the same time, I saw that the scene changed. On a beach, a young man came and went. He was looking for something. While searching, he was still muttering, "Where are my arrows? What day will you shoot? Where are my arrows?" But what he saw was a young man with black hair and black eyes, holding a compound bow. Yes, he was the one who shot that arrow earlier. However, he never expected it, and he just shot it towards the sun as a joke. Shoot, his arrow is gone. No matter how hard he looks for it, he can't find it. This makes his already poor family even worse. And this person is none other than Wanjie. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 286. At this time, countless people in the world looked at what happened in the picture, and they were a little surprised and a little suspicious at the same time. Is this Wanjie? It looks ordinary. Just because it looks ordinary doesn't mean that others don't have the ability. According to my observation, Wanjie's conceptual ability is not related to shooting, right? Obviously it has something to do with ejaculation. Archery? Is it possible that he will have the ability to shoot arrows with 100% accuracy? Good guy, he is 100% sure to be hit with his bare hands, right? 100% archery hit? What's the use? Laughing to death, here comes another guy who thinks that conceptual ability is useless. The archery hits 100% of the time. Are you telling me that this thing is useless? At this time, countless people were discussing. They were discussing Wanjie's ability. As for whether Wanjie's ability is 100% accurate, that is just a guess. Just when countless people were discussing, it was obvious that Wanjie was really, he couldn't find it, so he had no choice but to go back to the dormitory. However, as soon as he arrived at the dormitory, his roommate yelled, "Magic ball, why are you so late? There is a game in the afternoon, forgot." Wanjie sighed, "I know, it's just that I dropped an arrow and I couldn't find it after searching for an hour." "It's just an arrow, let's go and gather," the roommate Handang said, blocking Wanjie's shoulder. "Oh, wait, let me put the bow away first," Wanjie said. "Alas, what should I put?" "Just throw it on the bed," Handang said, pulling Wanjie and leaving. Wanjie had no choice but to throw it away. But unexpectedly, the bow and quiver drew an arc respectively, and were accurately hung on the bed frame. Wanjie was stunned by this throw. Even his roommate Handang was a little surprised. "Awesome, okay, let's go, 127." Wanjie also smiled, thinking that he had a good hand. Then, he and Handang left the dormitory and headed to the football field. They had a game in the afternoon, a college football league. How should I say? They are just members of an ordinary amateur football club. But on the opposite side, there is a super team from East China. To put it bluntly, they are looking for abuse. Win. Haha, how can we win? Just play a warm-up match and mobilize the atmosphere is enough. As for Mo Kyung, there is nothing to say about his physical fitness. After all, he is a child from the mountains. He has been fond of archery since he was a child. At the age of 18, he can shoot a pheasant in the neck from 50 meters away. Although he is not a god, a shooter, but in the eyes of ordinary people, this is already an incredible achievement. Similarly, coupled with his height of 1.89 meters, long hands and long legs, then, Mo Kyung joined the football club. There was no way, there was no archery club in the school, and he had to join at least one club, so he joined the football club. Mo Kyung was naturally gifted, and in just 1 year he became the starting goalkeeper of the football club, specializing in keeping the ball. As for Han Dang, the main forward, when he came on the field, Han Dang was still smiling and said, "Let Mo Kyung pass more passes to Han Dang." However, they didn't expect to win this game. There was no way, the gap was too big. One is a main player and the other is an amateur. How do we fight? Not only is there a gap in skills, but there is also a big gap in height. Mo Kyung is 1.89 meters tall, which is considered very tall, but the person opposite is even taller than him. Make a move. There is no way to fight like this. I have no choice but to bite the bullet. Soon, the game starts, everyone is in their positions. The forward on the opposite side quickly grabs the ball, dribbles the ball, and tears opening the defense, he quickly stepped out and shot accurately. Seeing the football crashing towards Mo Kyung, at this moment, Mo Kyung couldn't help but shed a cold sweat. Fast, it was too fast. Even if his reaction speed could keep up, but his body was still half a beat too slow. He could only try his best to hit the ball with his wrist. He tried to block the ball, at least to prevent the opponent from scoring. However, with such a light touch, what happened? Maybe it can block the ball? As long as it reaches the goal line, it is considered a goal, and this point is taken away by the opponent. It's just that. Boom. The football seemed to have stopped in front of the line due to Mo Kyung's interference. Then, after impact, it turned in an arc and bounced back. A goal? Impossible. The pioneer was dumbfounded, his face full of confusion. Such a goal that was destined to be won was actually blocked by the goalkeeper? It's Mo Kyung, that's it? But at this time, he couldn't care so much, and he hurriedly put the football in his arms. On the opposite side, the main force secretly thought that it was a pity. He had no choice but to retreat and exit the penalty area. The ball had already been obtained by Mo Kyung. At this time, he was waiting for Mo Kyung to serve. During the service period, he was not allowed to enter the zone. So. Ha ha ha, awesome, magic ball is awesome. Tiangzilu, magic ball, you are so Tiangzilu. Is this okay? So cool, it's all stable. At this moment, Mo Kyung's teammates were cheering and excited. They were all desperate when they saw the main player dribbling the ball, making various intersperses, and then shooting accurately and powerfully. 4 minutes into the game, lost the ball? But I didn't expect that Mo Kyung directly blocked the ball in this wave. It was simply unbelievable. They didn't care about luck or bad luck, and they cheered excitedly. Even the audience in the stands, as the students in the school also cheered. Mo Kyung took a deep breath. At this time, he didn't care about it anymore. When he saw Han Dang in the crowd, he put the ball down, took 2 steps back, and kicked it hard. Han Dang, catch it! Whoosh! The football flew away in a parabola in an instant. When Mo Kyung saw it, he felt that it was a pity. There was a deviation. There was a flaw in this kick. He may have used too little strength. There is absolutely no way that this ball would fall to Han. When that side, even, there may be a lot of deviation. However, after the kick went out, and looked at the parabola of the football, his pupils shrank again. With this parabola, Mo Kyung instantly calculated the landing point of the ball. This is absolutely the perfect landing point, and it will definitely land on Handang's side. Accurate. It's so accurate. And that Handang is also a good opportunity in secret. He chased the ball, jumped up subconsciously, and planned to catch the ball with his chest after releasing his strength, and then pushing the ball to a suitable unknown position, he could rush into the penalty area and score a goal with one kick. However, he thought well. But when he jumped up to catch the ball hit his chest. Then it fell straight to the ground and landed at his feet. This rhythm was wrong, completely wrong. He didn't even touch the ball with his flipping motion, and the ball was pushed out of bounds by the chasing defender. Ah, such a good opportunity, what a pity. Magic ball, I'm sorry, Handang hit the ground, and everyone was dumbfounded. He thought it was his own fault. And Mo Kyung was also a little confused. This ball, with Handang's skills, can be stopped, but wait. Suddenly, Mo Kyung realized something. That point seemed to be the landing point he wanted to pass. He remembered that he had thought before that it would be great if the ball could land at Handang's feet. Then, this happened. Mo Kyung frowned. Could it be that it was his determined landing point and could not be changed? In other words, he had to shoot wherever he wanted to. Can it work? No one can interfere with it? At this moment, the scene that appeared before flashed in Mo Kyung's mind. It was him kicking out, and it landed perfectly. It was Handang who caught the ball, but the ball still landed. When he reached Handang's feet, the rhythm was disrupted. Handang was unable to take the ball and shoot, allowing the goalkeeper to find a chance. Not only this time, but also the ball he guarded before. He subconsciously thought at that time the idea is, this ball must not fall into the line. Then, the ball really bounces on the line, and then bounces back. What the hell, am I possessed by the god of football? No, is that possible? Mo Kyung's mind was in a mess, and he was a little aware of the problem in his body. However, it was useless to just think about it, he had to experiment. At this moment, Mo Kyung was certain in his heart. If you want. Practice brings true knowledge, and only through practice can problems be found. Soon, the opportunity came again. The main player on the opposite side grabbed the ball again, quickly dribbled past, tore apart the defense, and kicked out fiercely. Accompanied by a low voice, just be on guard for me again. This kick is powerful and heavy. This kick is at a tricky angle. The football drew a perfect arc and flew towards the corner of the upper left border. Mo Kyung jumped up suddenly and subconsciously pounced on the ball. However, his fingertips could only touch the football a little bit. Needless to say, he couldn't prevent this ball. However, at this moment, what Mo Kyung was thinking about was that this ball would land vertically on the grass outside the goal line. There is no doubt that this ball really violated the laws of physics and landed vertically on the grass outside the goal line. Mo Kyung was surprised, and his heart could not help but beat wildly. At the same time, the main players on the opposite side were even more stupid. What the hell, they didn't even score. Mo Kyung was sure that he really seemed to have some ability to change the landing point of objects. Then, in the next game, there is no doubt that with Mo Kyung's ability, he won directly. The opponent who won had doubts about his life. But Mo Kyung was even more excited, and everyone screamed. Damn it, I didn't notice it usually, but Mo Kyung was like this fierce. 40. Mo Kyung and his team won the game 4-0. On the opposite side, they couldn't even score a single goal. They were simply goalkeepers. The coach of the sports school team even invited Mo Kyan to participate in the first division league. Obviously he was attracted by Mo Kyan's ability. As for Mo Kyan, he was mainly afraid that his direct ability would be exposed, so he naturally declined politely. Others are so envious that they cry. But there was no way, Mo Kyan knew what was going on with him, so he still had to refuse. After the game was over, Mo Kyan ran to the rooftop of the dormitory alone and began to study his abilities. He brought his own bow and arrows and began to explore his abilities. He placed the target, stood 10 meters away, and then shot 3 arrows in a row. The pendant is that he shot this arrow in the opposite direction. Yes, the target was behind him, and he just shot 3 arrows in a row. Under normal circumstances, the arrow would have flown long ago, but a strange scene happened. The 3 arrows first curved upward, then drew a perfect arc and turned towards the back. Toot. 3 arrows, all hit the bullseye. Even though Mo Kyan already had an idea, he was still excited after seeing such a strange scene. It's true. Mo Kyan looked at the arrow target carefully again, only to find that 3 arrows all hit the bullseye with arrows. Didn't Jingrang just go backwards and hit the bullseye with the tail of the arrow? Mo Kyan pondered. Moreover, he also discovered a phenomenon. The 3 arrows all hit the bullseye with the same direction and trajectory. Maybe he stood in the same position and shot 3 arrows in the same direction, so, these 3 arrows will be in fixed positions, and then they will hit the bullseye. In other words, he only needs to practice more, and he can rely on experience to grasp how each arrow will turn. At the same time, he also noticed, although he can determine the impact point, but only before launching, or at the moment of launching. Once the arrow is released, it has nothing to do with him. He cannot temporarily change the impact point, nor can he control the trajectory of the shot. Passive ability? Mo Kyan pondered deeply. It seemed that in the future, he had to think of a good landing point before taking action. He even had to consider whether the path would be tortuous and other factors. Otherwise, there might be a big mess. Then, Mo Kyan tried again. For a moment, he put the arrow on the bow, and then talked about it softly. Under normal circumstances, this arrow would fall directly. However, with Mo Kyan's ability, it did not. It was suspended in the air and moving slowly, violating the laws of physics. The speed was so slow that it was so slow. Mo Kyan could even go back and forth and observe it from all angles. If this scene was seen by others, they would be shocked. How many people's chins? Mo Kyan waited for 5 minutes before the arrow hit the bullseye. Due to insufficient strength, the moment the arrow hit the bullseye, it embraced the laws of physics again and fell freely. Tisk, Mo. After thinking for a while, he tried to shoot another arrow. This arrow was a little stronger than the previous one. Sure enough, the speed of this arrow was a bit faster, but it still violated the laws of physics. It's really a superpower that kills mechanics. No matter how much force I give it, it will move forward at a constant speed. No object can stop it, and the gravitational force of 5.2 will be ignored. Mo Kyan shot another arrow into the sky, and the hit point of this arrow was still the bullseye. There is no doubt that after the arrow flew out, it turned around, pointed downwards, and hit the bullseye with acceleration. Ignore the laws of nature? And relying on the laws of nature. The corner of Mo Kyan's mouth twitched. His ability seems to be used when the laws of nature are needed. If it is not used, just ignore it. Just like the few arrows he shot before. If he shoots straight, the force is small, the arrow will move forward slowly, ignoring gravity. And if he shoots towards the sky, no matter how big or small the force is, when the arrow points vertically downward, it will accelerate and land on the target with the help of gravity. Tisk. This ability is simply unbelievable. When you are used, just follow it, and when you are not needed, just ignore it. Worry, is the universe indifferent? At this moment, Mo Kyan was stupid. At the same time, countless people in the world are also stupid. Damn it, this ability. What the hell, are you so ignorant of the laws of physics? It's against the heavens, this Mo Kyan is against the heavens. What is this ability? 100% hit. 100% hit? Are there no other conditions? Well, what I shot was 100% accurate. Good guy, this is on par with Li Jing's ability. Differently, Li Jing also had the action of raising his sword and bringing it down, but what about Mo Kyan? The same goes for Mo Kyan. He also has to complete the action of shooting out. Even if he touches it lightly or flicks it casually, he has fulfilled this condition. Tisk, what the hell, it violates objective laws. It's as if Li Jing's ability does not violate objective theorems. What's more, he can even pull people out of black holes. Which one is more defiant? It's also incredible. That's all I can say. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 287. At this time, countless people were sighing with emotion. Of course, it is a sigh of relief. At this time, countless people in the world have not realized the seriousness of the matter. Then, countless people saw that Mo Kyan's ability was even more heaven-defying. The things he shoots are not just physical things, he can even shoot the air. The breath he exhaled was also similar to an arrow, and similar to what he shot. Of course, it's not just the air, he can also shoot out the characters in the game, which is equivalent to shooting the characters in this game into another game. As for the firearms controlled by the characters in the game, or other things, he can also make them hit absolutely, just like the characters in the game have a lock. The point is, this is not the most outrageous thing. The most outrageous thing is that Mo Kyan can even eject hormones, and then make others fall in love with him irresistibly. Relying on that girl again, Mo Kyan started thinking about how to make money again. With his ability, he can completely locate those lost treasures, and then make a lot of money. What treasures can never be found in this world are nothing in front of him. At this time, in the library, the girl who Mo Kyan shot out his hormones was named Qinya. Qinya was introducing the crown of the king of Ryukyu to Mo Kyan. Looking at the pictures in the book, Mo Kyan's eyes lit up. So this is the crown of the king of Ryukyu. He was excited. If he finds this thing, he can definitely make a lot of money. Qinya, thank you so much. Mo Kyan turned his head and subconsciously held Chinya's hand. Qinya is definitely a beautiful girl with a delicate face and graceful figure. She is so charming. Now, Mo Kyan held his hand so suddenly. Her face turned red instantly, and she hurriedly said, "It's nothing, I'm just checking information for you. By the way, you often go to the library, so you should know Chae-yun, right? Is she the administrator here?" Mo Kyan suddenly said. "Of course." Chin. Ya said with a smile, "Sister Yun is very good to me, and she is also very familiar with the library. She can often recommend some books that I need very much. Yes, he is very smart and charming. When I get a job, I will definitely confess to her." Mo Kyan suddenly spoke. As soon as these words came out, Chin stopped. She looked at Mo Kyan blankly, and after a long time, she said, "You like Sister Yun?" "Yes, I like her, this is no secret, many people know it," Mo Kyan affirmed. Qinya pursed her lips and said nothing. Mo Kyan naturally knew what Qinya meant to him. However, he was the one who shot the hormones. If he was allowed to be with Qinya like this, he would feel it's very awkward. That's why he said these things. However, he also really likes Chae-yun. Perhaps. In the eyes of others, Chae-yun is just a slightly good-looking girl with eyes and an ordinary cigarette. a big social worker. However, in Mo Kyung's eyes, this Chae-yoon has a unique charm and an indescribable beauty. It's like he understands her very well by nature. Even, unexpectedly, he can get Chae-yoon. Yun's thoughts can really be understood. It's not facial reasoning, but real. Just like mind reading, he can fully understand Chae-yun's thoughts, as if she really thinks that. In the past, he was still there. He wondered if this was some kind of strange hobby that he possessed. But now that he had the ability, he felt that it was not like that. It was as if there was telepathy between the two. Of course, this was something he had unilaterally. It's not two-way. However, it's useless to say more. The most important thing now is to make money. Let's talk about it after we get the money. After chatting for a few words, Chinya was sent away. After that, Mo Kyung started to buy a GPS again. He bought a lot, because he was afraid that the GPS would fly somewhere else because of him. He was also afraid that the GPS would be damaged, so it was better to be more prepared. After that, Mo Kyung helped Chinya find the GPS. The cousin who was abducted by human traffickers now has the initial start-up capital. There is no doubt that this way, he will have the funds to buy a boat and go out to sea to hunt for treasures. The school directly asked for leave, and he rented a boat directly. The boat went out to sea. The starting capital was 500,000. It was not enough to buy a boat, so he had to rent it. Fortunately, it didn't matter. He tied the GPS to the arrow, determined the target, and launched it directly. At the same time, he was also afraid of what would happen to the GPS underwater. He packed the problem in an alloy box. In this way, as long as he kept shooting arrows and GSP, he would be able to find the treasure sooner or later. Finally, 3 days later, he had sailed to the Indian Ocean, almost close to the equator. And his GPS, 430 of the 12 disappeared. Only 10 of them still had signals. However, it didn't matter. He arrived at a signal location and put on diving equipment. He started looking for it from here. After searching several times, he couldn't find anything. He didn't find the right thing, but he finally picked up a box. He didn't know what was in the box, but it was probably a treasure. At this moment, a big ship hit him. Come on. Poor Mo is stupid. There is no doubt that his little broken boat is not good enough in front of other people's luxury yachts. Mo Chien doesn't care, anyway, even if the boat is broken, he can still drive it. The main thing is the things on the boat. But others, I thought he was about to be rescued, so I hurried down to rescue him. He was so desperate, but the storm came again. No matter how good the water quality of the man was, he was useless. He had no choice but to save Mo Kyung. The one who saved people was killed instead. Saved. However, this encounter can be regarded as exposing Mo Kyung to something newer. This luxury cruise ship is full of people from the top society. Everyone here is the rich second generation. This group of people, when I went out to play, I also came to find some kind of sea monster. What the sea monster said. Mo Kyung smiled and didn't care. He subconsciously broke open a piece of breadcrumbs and chuckled. If the sea monster didn't exist, it should be untraceable. However, if he threw it away like this, then the breadcrumbs flew in one direction instantly. Mo Kyung was stunned. Damn it, is there such a thing as a sea monster in this world? Although others didn't believe it, he and the rich second generation did believe it. As for the rich second generation, because Mo Kyung had the grace to save his life, they naturally got on better terms with Mo Kyung. Next, Mo Kyung and these rich second generations started to play in various sea areas. Of course, Mo Kyung called it just for fun, but in fact, he planned to go to various GPS signal points to find treasures. Not to mention, he really found it. That crown of the king of Ryukyu. There is no doubt that Mo Kyung is now prosperous. Well, he definitely can't eat it alone, and these rich second generations also happen to have connections. Therefore, he shared these treasures equally with these rich second generations. Gold, silver, and jewelry were divided equally, and as for antiques, Mo Kyung chose wood carvings. As for this wood carving, you can tell at a glance that it is worthless. Mo Kyung really chose the cheapest one. He didn't know that there were so many different things in this antique. This wood carving was considered an antique, but this thing only had 10,000 pieces at most. This is because Mo Kyung has little knowledge. But it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter if you put something together with the treasure, it will be a treasure. Perhaps, only those pirates thought this wood carving was valuable, so they put a special box in it. The historical significance and material of this wood carving are worth nothing at all. Moreover, this wood carving is also very strange. It is as tall as a palm, dark, and the carving is of a man with 9 snakes growing out of his chin. The craftsmanship is not very exquisite either, and many places are blurry. This is not worth anything at all. Mo Kyung put down the wood carving and started picking other things. However, he got the wood carving. There is no way, no one is too lazy to ask for it, so he is the only one who comes to get it. Each of those treasures had one piece, and everyone picked out the good ones, leaving only some rubbish. No one wants garbage, but Mo Kyung holds it in his hands. It's not that he thinks this thing is a treasure, it's that he does this and suffers a little in order to integrate into the circle. In short, everyone was very excited today and had a great day. Mo Kyung didn't even know how he fell asleep. While sleeping, Mo Kyung had a rare dream. It was on a dark sea. Mo Kyung was immersed in the sea, sinking and sinking. He didn't know how he was in the dream, and he didn't know how he sank to the bottom of the sea. He wanted desperately to surface and breathe freely, but he couldn't. He kept sinking, and kept sinking. It's like falling into an abyss, making people unable to extricate themselves. He had difficulty breathing and was struggling. He wanted to launch something, but he had nothing. He choked in pain, one mouthful after another, as if even the last trace of air in his lungs had been expelled. He struggled painfully, trying to die but couldn't, trying to live but suffering. He subconsciously wanted to shoot something, but this place was an endless abyss. There was nothing, just endless sinking. He struggled desperately, trying to relieve the pain, and then, suddenly, a wisp of air suddenly appeared in the deep sea. Before the air can form bubbles on the seafloor, the dark underwater world is shattered like a mirror. Call. Mo Kyung opened his eyes suddenly, sat on the bed and gasped for air. He breathed the air greedily, feeling weak all over. Dream. Mo Kyung looked at the time, it was still midnight, and he breathed a long sigh of relief. Fortunately it was a dream. That kind of struggle, that kind of despair, he really didn't want to experience it again. Wait, the air just now. Suddenly, Mo Kyung's heart condensed, and he thought of the dream just now. In the dream world, he struggled desperately to no avail, and finally, a wisp of air appeared. Did he unconsciously swing and set the landing point while dreaming? The breath he exhaled was shot into his dream. When he thought of this question, Mo Kyung woke up instantly. In the illusory dream, real matter appeared, and the dream collapsed. So, I woke up, Mo Kyung frowned. Forget it. Mo Kyung shook his head and didn't take it to heart. Maybe, for a long time, he won't be dreaming. When he sleeps, he can still breathe, and the breath he exhales can be considered being shot, maybe directly into the dream, and then breaking the dream. If he slept too hard, he wouldn't even know that he was dreaming. Because this time it was a nightmare, it woke him up in the middle of the night. I thought. Thinking, this kind of thing will probably never happen again. This is what Mo Kyung thought. Then, the next day, at night, he just lay in bed and fell asleep, and the nightmare came again. It was still the dark in the dark seabed, there was still that suffocating despair. Is this dream a TV series? Amokayan was confused. Fortunately, the breath he exhaled could break the dream at any time. He woke up again in the middle of the night, and then, again he fell asleep in a daze. As for the series, he had done it when he was a child. It was normal, but he still didn't take it to heart. However, the third episode of the Nightmare series came. Yes, before today was over, he started again. I had a nightmare, it was still the same nightmare. I started sinking from where I ended last time, and it was more than 2,000 meters before my dream collapsed this time. Amokayan woke up with a start, and looked at the time. Good guy, it was just 2 minutes past. He frowned. He thought about what was going on with 770, so he could only continue to sleep. However, the fourth time, it happened again. Not only the fourth time. Every time he broke through the dream and fell asleep again, the nightmare came again. 9 times in a row, he only managed to sleep once, and he didn't sleep until dawn. This night's torment made Amokayan's nerves a little weak. He told Wanjie, the second-generation rich man, about his nightmare. Wanjie, but he said that this was normal, after all, he was at sea. But the same nightmare 2 days in a row. He suggested that Amokayan find a master to interpret dreams. Anyway, this matter was settled. Amokayan didn't take it to heart. Soon, he discovered that in the next few days, he never had that kind of nightmare again. He didn't know if it was because he interrupted the nightmare, but anyway, it would be better if he didn't. For several days, their ship finally we are about to dock. As soon as he landed, Wanjie arranged Amokayan to a 5-star hotel. He said he wanted him to relax. Amokayan was also speechless. Then, he was taken to a club by Wanjie, saying that there is a very clever fortune teller. He also said that this fortune teller has real abilities. And Wanjie also took Amokayan's nightmares to heart and asked this fortune teller to help interpret dreams. Soon, Wanjie and Amokayan went in and saw the so-called master. The master first said that Wanjie met the most worthy person to make friends with in his life, and he was also his noble person. He met him this week. And the person he met this week was Amokayan. 1. At this time, all the worlds are amazed. It's so accurate. Amokayan, the son of luck in this world, who is he if he is not the noble man Wanjie? Countless people in all the world smile, and secretly I think this master has something. Then, countless people saw that Wanjie asked the master to help him take a look at Amokayan. At that time, countless people were wondering if Amokayan was going to blind the master. At that moment, I heard that the master said directly, my family is poor, and this is the destiny of a mortal. Although my studies are good, that's all. I will work for a lifetime and my savings will not exceed 1 million. He is not your noble man. This master is very sure. But Wanjie knows very well that Amokayan still has a treasure in storage. If the treasure is sold, it will be at least 30 million, and Amokayan can get 7 million. But, what does this master say? The poor will not get it? The master was very sure. He even said that no matter whether the 7 million would be transferred to him or not, there was absolutely no way Amokayan could get the 7 million. No matter what the reason. Or Amokayan had not received the money. If he dies, or the bank breaks down, he will never get the 7 million. However, at this moment. Ding! Amokayan's cell phone rang. He took it out and saw that it was a message from the bank. 7 million, arrived. Wanjie haha. Grandmaster. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 288. At this time, Countless people in the world were a little surprised when they saw what happened in the picture. I thought this master had something up his sleeve. Now it turns out that he is also a liar. That's not right. This guy looks very sure, as if he knows some kind of truth and some kind of answer. He's not as simple as a liar. Indeed, it is not as simple as being a liar. It can only be said that he cannot see through the protagonist. But this guy also said that Mo was Zhang nobleman. How do you say this? What does it mean to be a noble person who has fallen in love with Zhang He? He said that Zhang He had a noble man, but he said that this noble man was not Mo. This is a bit interesting. I feel that Zhang He is quite accurate, but when it comes to Mo, he is not accurate. What is this scenario? Is there a possibility that Mo has awakened his superpower, which makes him inaccurate? This is also possible. After all, if Mo had not awakened his superpower, he would have been just an ordinary person in this life. By the way, has this master also awakened some kind of superpower? It has some kind of fortune-telling ability, and then the calculation is so accurate. However, once it involves the same kind of people, it is not accurate. What the hell is it when it comes to the same kind of people? If this master has really awakened some kind of ability, then Mo should not be considered wrong. I don't know, but it feels weird. Countless people were discussing, looking curiously at everything that happened in the Great Dao Golden List. At this time, in the scene, the master was still saying that Mo must not have much savings, etc., and was still talking harshly. But Mo just got the money. In the end, they broke up on bad terms. However, as soon as he went out, Mo saw a tall, intellectual beauty. She also brought 2 bodyguards. This beauty, she looked familiar. But for a moment, Mo didn't react. When the 2 of them passed each other, the beautiful woman glanced at Mo with a faint smile, and then, without saying anything, continued walking forward. It looked like, also went to find the master. However, although the beautiful woman didn't say anything, Mo suddenly got what she was thinking. Did these 2 people just finish counting from the inside? Mo was stunned for a moment. Then he looked at the beautiful woman again. He was suddenly stunned. This feeling, and the familiar feeling. This is, Che-yun? The body is the same, the eyes are the same, everything is similar. The only difference is it's just that this beauty didn't wear glasses. He remembered that Che-yun wore glasses and had an average appearance. But the beauty in front of him had a beautiful appearance and an elegant temperament. Good guy, she has changed a lot. But based on the telepathic feeling from before, Mo was very sure that this beauty must be Che-yun. But why did Che-yun come here? What is the situation? At this time, the beauty seemed to realize that Mo her expression and even her eyes fluctuated, and then, Mo got her thoughts again. These 2 people seemed to have something to say to me. Did something happen inside? Then, just as the thought passed, the beautiful woman spoke as expected, said, "Hello, you seem to have just come out. Is the master still inside?" Mo paused. This voice was really Che-yun's. However, Che-yun didn't recognize him. Well, this is normal. Because he was with Zhang he wore a suit and put it on again with eyes and hair combed like an adult. It was normal for Che-yun to not recognize him. Mo did not say anything. As for Zhang He, seeing Che-yun talking to them, he immediately smiled and said, "Of course he is inside, beauty. What are you asking him for? What are you asking? Just arrest him for spreading feudal superstition." Che-yun smiled inwardly. There is no doubt that this idea was directly captured by Mo. He is a mind reader. However, this mental activity made Mo her face was full of confusion. What is this? Spreading feudal superstition? Arrest her directly? What the hell is this? However, Che-yun said, of course I'm asking about marriage. Jong-hee grinned and wanted to say something. That master was a liar. He wanted to ruin the master's reputation and cause trouble for others. But in the end, Che-yun was still fast and walked in directly. Jong-hee saw that Mo Kyung seemed to be interested in the beautiful woman from before, so he took Mo Kyung to inquire about it without saying a word. Good guy, it's better not to inquire about it. Once he inquired about it, it turned out that her name was Che-yun. Although Mo Kyung had already confirmed that Che-yun was Che-yun. But now that he heard the beautiful woman's name, he was even more convinced of his idea. My surname is Che, I think I probably know it, Jong-hee suddenly spoke. Then, he looked at Mo Kyung, hesitated to speak, and finally said, brother, this woman is not a local, her family's property should be in Shanghai. Mo Kyung was stunned and said in astonishment, how do you know, Jong? He said with a smile, people with the surname Che are rare. Those who can get in here are naturally either rich or noble. The only one I have heard of is one in Shanghai. Like my family, they are investing everywhere, they are responsible for the operation of the World Environmental Protection Shelter in China. So, you are very rich, Mo Kyung muttered. Their family is different from mine. My family is a family business, and their family is equivalent to a money manager. I can only say that it is average, Jong-hee said. Is that so? Mo Kyung frowned. Although Jong-hee said that Che-yun's family is average, it depends on who he compares with. It can't be compared with Jong-hee, it can only be said to be average. But compared with other ordinary people, Che-yun's family must be considered rich. But if they are so rich, why do they work as a librarian in their Yanda library? Mo Kyung really can't figure it out. This woman is a bit mysterious. Also, before Che-yun was thinking, what does it mean to be arrested for spreading feudal superstition? However, before Mo Kyung could think clearly, there was a noise from the master before. Mo Kyung and Jong-hee looked at each other without saying anything. Quickly stepped forward. Then he saw Che-yun sitting on the sofa with an angry face, and the two bodyguards, one grabbed the master, and the other called the police. After questioning, soon, the two I understand what happened. It seems that the master said something wrong again, which made Che-yun angry, and she wanted to call the police to arrest him. At this time, the master was still saying, Miss Che, I don't care about your marriage, I say, it's for your own good. Your career is indeed bumpy. In the field you strive for, you are only in the middle of the pack. However, Che-yun still looked angry. Nonsense, you liar, you are cheating here. I have already called the police. You can talk to the police. That's what she said. However, what she was thinking in her heart was that I can actually get into the middle class. Great. There is no doubt that this thought in her heart was captured by Mo Kyung again. What the hell is this? Mo Kyung was stunned. Is it too good to be in the middle class? What does this mean? Also, since you are happy in your heart, why do you still say that the master is cheating? Should you call the police? At this moment, Mo Kyung's mind was full of confusion and he really couldn't figure it out. At this time, someone seemed to recognize Che-yun, and smiled and said to the master, Master, you are wrong. His family's operating funds are world class. Miss Che-yun has been exposed to finance since she was a child, and has managed several charitable foundations. In this regard, she will definitely be a first-class person in the future. You say she is just middle class, haha. When the master heard this, he still said firmly, I can't be wrong. Miss Che, you have had a disaster recently. You have to survive it. The sea and sky are vast. If you can't survive it, your life may be in danger. However, it seems that you can't listen either. Go in, many people don't believe me and want to mess with me. You are not the first one. Even if you use your own energy to catch me, when you are gone, someone will naturally ask me to come out. Che-yun was stunned at first, but still said you don't have to scare me. But his thoughts were captured by Mo Kyung, who discovered that Che-yun actually wanted to know what the disaster was, but for some reason, she held it back. It seems like that, no matter what the master says today, he will be arrested. At this moment, Mo Kyung realized that this must be a trap. It was Che-yun's fault. Tisk, what's going on? The police came and the master was taken away. Mo Kyung looked confused. It always felt like there were a lot of things he didn't understand. He didn't know what was going on. I always feel that Che-yun is very mysterious. After that, Mo Kyung chatted with Che-yun again. Che-yun certainly didn't recognize Mo Kyung. At most, they had met him a few times and chatted a few times, so they couldn't be considered acquaintances. And during this conversation, Mo Kyung seemed to understand more about Che-yun's inner thoughts. However, the more he knew, the more confused Mo Kyung became. According to Che-yun's inner thoughts, it seems that Che-yun is some kind of temporary worker, and she is still thinking about becoming a regular worker, and she also talks about going to the library. Are you doing volunteer work to earn merit steadily? What is this? Mo Kyung is really confused. At this time, countless people in the world were also a little surprised. Co-author, Mo Kyung can really read minds. No, mind reading seems to be especially useful for this woman. By the way, is there some powerful mysterious organization behind this woman? Maybe, it's that kind of superpower management organization. Tisk, I thought that Mo Kyung would just rely on his superpowers to do whatever he wanted in this life. But it turns out that the water in this world is deeper than imagined. By the way, Mo Kyung has two superpowers, right? One is mind reading. Although you can only read one person, it is also mind reading. Another absolute hit. Tisk, that's interesting. What do you think this mysterious organization is? A mysterious organization. Do you think it is possible that this mysterious organization is the Blue and White Society? Not to mention, this is really possible. It is also possible that some other organization had some kind of conflict with Mo Kyung and was opposed to Mo Kyung. Then, Mo Kyung founded the Blue and White Society to fight against that mysterious organization. Good guys, with your imagination, why don't you write a book? With ideas. Quick update, can't sleep at night. You are all talented, right? At this time, countless people were discussing and complaining. At this moment, the scene changed. Mo Kyung returned to the hotel room. He was so excited that he fell asleep. However, in a daze, he saw Che-yun. At this time, Che-yun was indeed complaining to a short-haired beauty. Che-yun sighed, Sister Yu, do I really want to attend that auction? Those dudes are always pestering me. I'm tired. Ah. Sister Yu said with a smile, it's rare for you to enjoy a safe and free life, isn't it good? If possible, I would like to change it with you. I really feel like I've become a regular person. Che-yun sighed, if I had known that master was so useless, I should have arrested him myself instead of reporting him, however. These words made Sister Yu glare. Nonsense, any abnormality must be reported. If you want to solve it yourself for the sake of greed, you will die without knowing how. Well. Che-yun lowered her head, but if I can solve an incident independently, I can become a regular employee. Sister Yu said with a straight face, this is not your business, Xiaoun. I found that your mentality is very problematic. I doubt you if you are not qualified for this job. I think it is necessary to send someone to conduct a psychological test on you. Ah, don't take it so seriously. Che-yun said anxiously, Sister Yu, I promise to fulfill my duties. I just said it casually, and the master said that I can get to the middle level. However, Sister Yu shook her head that master can't see through fate. What he sees is only a possible life trajectory, which itself can be changed. However, he said that your life is in danger in the near future. You should still pay attention and notify the Ministry of Foreign Affairs immediately if anything happens. Mo Qian, Zhao Liaozhao, wanted to hear more. But for some reason, the dream suddenly shattered. Mo Qian woke up in a daze. When he recalled what happened in the dream, he realized that it should be his own ability to change the dream. Broken. He frowned and began to ponder for a moment. What the hell is this? What kind of dream is this? Wait, this doesn't seem to be a dream. This is clearly what happened to Che Yun now. Similar things happened before, but he didn't know it at the time. But after tonight's dream, coupled with everything he experienced during the day, he could easily come to this conclusion. But what the hell is going on? Then the master can really see through a possible situation life trajectory? And they actually regard this as work? At this time, Mo Qian vaguely realized something. He thought that he continued to dream and wanted to know more information, but as soon as he woke up and it was dawn, he could not find any more information. Dreaming. Alas. Mo Qian sighed. However, he was not discouraged, because he could hear the voice of his heart, so he still thought about how to trick Che Yun. Soon, Mo Qian was on a luxury cruise ship. This time, there will be an auction on this luxury cruise ship, and the items auctioned are probably the treasures that Mo Qian and the others obtained. Of course, there are some other things. This is the auction. Mo Qian knows that Che Yun he also came to the auction, so he got the invitation and came too. Mo Qian and Zhang He walked around and saw Che Yun in the gym. Mo Qian and Che Yun talked. Finally, Mo Qian when Qian asked Che Yun what his goals were, he captured Che Yun's psychological activities. Che Yun wanted to become an official member of the Blue and White Society in her whole life. Blue and White Society. Mo Qian's pupils shrank. Finally, he came to the surface. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 289. At this time, countless people in the world were watching this scene. When they heard Che Yun's voice, everyone's eyes widened. At the same time, as Mo Qian continued to read his heart, the world also learned more about the Blue and White Society and Che Yun. Come, Blue and White Club. Blue and White Club finally appeared. I don't know what kind of organization this Blue and White Club is. There is so much energy. Such a big background strength. Che Yun is considered an elite among ordinary people, but in the end, she is only a peripheral member of the Blue and White Society. A member of peripheral intelligence. Good guy, what does this Blue and White Club do? It's so mysterious. Containment staff? What is this? Containment or something? Isn't it to house those with superpowers? The previous master seemed to be someone who could glimpse one of the trajectories of life. No, it should be to contain those anomalies or something. Che Yun thought so. What is this anomaly? It feels like Mo Qian. Tisk, I feel like this. Why does Mo Qian want to fight against the Blue and White Society? Judging from Che Yun's thoughts, the Blue and White Society's organization is very large. There are Blue and White Society members all over the world. Moreover, most of them are only peripheral members. It's hard to imagine, what does a real member look like? Obviously, the Blue and White Society is an organization that deals with supernatural things. Is this even worth thinking about? Blue and White Society? Isolate all abnormal influences on human society into the darkness. Is this the Blue and White Club? Why do you feel that Blue and White Club looks good? That's not very clear. You have to look further back to know what the hell this blue and white club is. Haha, it is obvious that the Blue and White Society is a positive organization. The police, army, and other civil servants will participate and cooperate according to the situation. Is it possible that you think this kind of organization is a dark organization that cannot be stopped? Makes sense. Is it equivalent to a national agency? It should be similar. At this time, countless people were discussing, and in the Dao Golden List, Mo Kyan was also discussing with Chae-yun. Chae-yun obviously didn't know that Mo Kyan had already understood everything about her by listening to the other person's voice. The most important thing is that because he can hear Chae-yun's thoughts, Mo Kyan will show the two people's very similar characteristics from time to time, and then gain Chae-yun's favor and so on. This is simply cheating. However, it's not important. Mo Kyan understood it almost, and soon, Mo Kyan returned to the room. However, as soon as he returned to the room, he saw an actress he had been casually polite to in his room. The corner of Mo Kyan's mouth twitched. Obviously, these women were just trying to establish relationships. Now, they are even more proactive. He even saw the wooden sculpture from before. The wooden sculpture was placed on the windowsill before, but now it is on the bed. It was still wet. Mo Kyan felt a little disgusted immediately. Then, he casually gave this thing to the actress and sent it away. It's not that he is a straight man, it's not that he doesn't know what this woman means. If possible, he would also like to get to know this woman in depth. However, when he was talking to Chae-yun, he was seen by a rich man. The rich man was very jealous. He was originally pursuing Chae-yun, but Chae-yun ignoring him, he talked and laughed with Mo Kyan instead. There was no doubt that this aroused the jealousy of the other party. This kind of thing is also normal. During the day, he was shocked by Mo Kyan's slight display of force. He was afraid that guy came to trouble him at night. So, he sent the actress away. Soon, he went to the bathroom and started taking a bath. The fish tank was very big, like a small swimming pool, and he soaked for a while. The water invaded the water with his whole body. This diving-style soaking method was very comfortable. After a while, he planned to take a breath. But suddenly, he felt something was wrong. It seemed that when he was holding his breath in the water, he didn't feel depressed at all. After soaking for a while, a few minutes passed, and he still looked as normal. Well, why don't I need to ventilate? Mo Kyan was dumbfounded, with a face full of confusion. At this moment, Mo Kyan opened his eyes. He looked at the water, and there seemed to be no bubbles. He exhaled tentatively, and then, gurgling bubbles appeared. He couldn't help but take a breath, and then cough cough cough. At this moment, Mo Kyan started coughing violently. There is no doubt that breathing in underwater will only cause choking on water, and there is no other possibility. The water directly entered the lungs from the throat. However, strangely yes, he didn't feel any suffocation from choking on water. Although he didn't feel suffocation, he still felt very uncomfortable. He coughed twice violently, but his face was still confused. What the hell is going on? He was a little surprised, and then, he dived into the water again and just kept holding it in. After more than 10 minutes, his expression was still the same. Damn it! Do I no longer need to breathe? Poor Mo was dumbfounded. He was sure that he had no mutation, and wondered if it was related to superpowers. But his superpower was an absolute hit, and he needed to shoot. But now, he was just holding his breath, and it seemed to be a new kind of the ability is average. Moreover, it is clear that there was no such ability before. Mo Kyan thought subconsciously. Before, when he was looking for treasures, the water was very shallow and he did not bring an oxygen bottle, so he was holding his breath underwater. He couldn't hold it in. He took a breath when he was in the hospital. At that time, his breathing was still normal. But today it suddenly changed. He got up from the water again, looked in the mirror and started to hold his breath. But this time, he looked in the mirror and held his breath for a while. It feels very uncomfortable after a few minutes, and it stops working after 2 or 3 minutes. There is an obvious feeling of suffocation. Well, what's going on? Amokayan was confused. Can't he hold his breath in the air? Can he hold his breath in the water? He quickly tried again and finally tried out his ability. His ability, how should I say, is very weird. He thought he was breathing underwater, but it was obviously not the case, and nothing entered his body to replace the oxygen supply. Instead, he simply didn't need to breathe underwater. This simply violated the normal laws of the human body. Amokayande looking at the mirror blankly, I felt a little weird. Although his superpower also violated the laws of physics, it was a superpower, but this kind of ability that acts on the human body seems a bit ridiculous. What the hell, you need air and breathing on land, but you don't need it underwater. What kind of logic is this? Amokayang's head almost exploded. Then, he began to think about where the superpower came from. Obviously this had not happened before, but today? Was there any special situation that happened during this period? He suddenly thought of the special situation that happened during this period, that nightmare. That nightmare was drowning in the deep sea. In the nightmare, no matter how hard he suffocated, no matter how oppressed, no matter what kind of torture is suffered, he will not die, he will just endure the pain and keep sinking. Is it related to that dream? Amokayang thought about it. At the same time, he also felt that the dream was very evil. For ordinary continuous dreams, it is enough to have it once or twice. The third episode in a row is a bit rare. And I took 9 interruptions before I could get rid of that dream completely. Immediately afterwards, Amokayang thought of the actress from before. The actress was lying on his bed. Looking at her painful expression, she seemed to be having a nightmare. At this moment, Amokayang was thinking about the similarities between the actress and himself. Suddenly, his pupils shrank. Holy shit, is it a wood carving? Amokayang's pupils shrank and he realized it instantly. He learned from Chae-yun that there are some supernatural things in this world. And that wood carving. Damn it, now that I think about it, that wood carving was placed alone in a box by pirates. Obviously, this thing is more precious than any crown. Because this wood carving is a supernatural thing that can give people superpowers. Damn, I have to get the wood carving back. Without saying anything, Amokayang dialed the number of the actress from before. As a result, they learned that the wooden sculpture was sold by the actress to a guy for 2 million? Was it sold? That didn't matter. Amokayang didn't care that the wooden sculpture, BJDC, was sold for 2 million. He just cared about the guy who bought the wood carving. Soon, he saw the guy who bought the wood carving, the so-called Mr. Yuan. Spending 2 million to buy a wood carving, this guy obviously knew something. Maybe, this Mr. Yuan is the one who bought the wood carving. Like Chae-yun, what kind of peripheral member is he? Oh, isn't this Amokayang? I heard you dated a beautiful girl. Still have time to come here. When Mr. Yuan saw Amokayang, he smiled and spoke. Amokayang smiled and said she felt a little uncomfortable, so she went back first. Haha, are you pretending to be innocent? The actress is lying there with you and you don't do anything, Master Yuan sneered. If not, Amokayang asked with a smile. He naturally knew that Amokayang had nothing to do with the actress, because the actress went to his place, and that's how he bought the wood carving. He didn't want to say more. He was too lazy to care. I'm out of money. Oh? Where is she? At this time, the rich second generation who planned to pursue Chae-yun also spoke. Well, he wanted to call the woman over so that he could confront her face to face, and then, let Chae-yoon know what kind of person Mo Kyung is, so she can be courteous in front of Chae-yoon. Unfortunately, Chae-yoon doesn't care. But at this time, a young model said I'm sorry, she went back to bed, but one was having a nightmare. After waking up, he didn't dare to sleep. The whole person was in poor spirits. Obviously, this young model knows the young actor. And as soon as these words came out, "Yeah? What nightmare? Is it so terrible?" Chae-yoon suddenly asked out of curiosity. Mo Kyung's expression tightened. At the same time, Mr. Yuen's expression also tightened. Huh? Mo Kyung noticed it instantly. It's okay for me to be a little nervous. Why are you nervous? Doesn't he want Chae-yoon to be nervous? Yoon is paying attention to this matter? Why? Is it a colleague? Afraid of being divided? Or, is Chae-yoon's opponent? Soon, after another chat, Chae-yoon didn't pay too much attention on the surface, but he wanted to investigate. Soon, after lunch, everyone said goodbye. And Mo Kyung did not go to Chae-yoon, but silently followed that young Master Yuen. He lived silently to his room alone. Call up. This guy, Mo Kyung narrowed his eyes. His cell phone had no signal, but the guy had one. This also made him certain that Master Yuen and Chae-yoon were not in the same group. If it is really all the way, if you have a satellite phone, you should report it when you get the wood carving. So. Mo Kyung smiled heartily, then stood up, passed by young Master Yuen, then glanced at young Master Yuen's mobile phone desktop, and then went to the balcony and started playing with his mobile phone as if nothing had happened. He was indeed playing with his mobile phone, but he sent a game character in the mobile phone directly to Mr. Yuen's mobile phone to monitor Mr. Yuen's mobile phone. He put on his earphones, and sure enough, a call came from the earphones. That was the voice of a middle-aged man. The first thing he said was, "Why don't you kill that woman and silence her?" Mr. Yuen hurriedly said, "I was noticed by Chae-yoon before I could do it. These two people wouldn't know how to do it. There is an intersection, but this was purely an accident. I originally planned to secretly knock people out and throw them into the sea at night. Chae-yoon would not know about the disappearance of an ordinary actress." Madness. The middle-aged man growled, "Why didn't you silence yourself in the room? If you kill that woman, the most you can do is go to jail." Mr. Yuen hesitated for a moment. Then, the middle-aged man snorted coldly, "You don't want to give up your current life. You clearly know that Chae-yoon is from the Blue and White Club. Are you still taking chances? Just because of a broken piece of wood that gives people nightmares, you want me to kill someone and go to jail? This could have been avoided. I told you it was an accident," Yuan Shao argued. "You are wrong." However, the middle-aged man said calmly, "This is not an accident. Even if Chae-yoon doesn't notice it, can you guarantee that there are no other Blue and White Club members on this ship? Who knows who else is hiding on this ship?" Mr. Yuen was speechless, and after a long time he said, "In the worst case, just pretend you don't know anything, and just give the wood to Chae-yoon." "No." However, a determined voice came from the other side, "We have to decide on this wood carving. I have already photographed a couple and they are expected to arrive in an hour. All you have to do is very simple, just hold her steady. If he asks you, do you want to pray to God for salvation? Just answer that humans have opened their eyes. Then, you give her the key card and put the wood carving in the room, which can delay it for a long time. If she feels it is safe to contain her, the people from the Blue and White Society will be responsible for receiving her when she comes ashore." Master Yuen remembered it silently. At the same time, he asked, "Send someone? What to do?" A faint voice came from the opposite side. "Of course, I rushed to take the things away before the Blue and White Society." Mo Kyung, who was monitoring the whole process, exited the game, and the game character that was shot into Yuan Shao's phone naturally disappeared. He was a little solemn. These guys are so afraid of the blue and white society, and when people come over, they will definitely be the first to do so. Time to kill Che Yun. No, wait, it's not just Che Yun. They are afraid that there are other blue and white club members on the boat, and they will definitely kill everyone. Damn it. Mo Kyung's heart sank. Damn, he was shot even while he was lying down? You have to remind Che Yun. But, how? Mo Kyung frowned. Soon, he saw Mr. Yun walking out of the room, sitting in the dining room with some depression. And Che Yun soon found him. He came up and sat down to drink tea with a natural expression. The rich second generation who was pursuing Che Yun naturally followed him. Che Yun also knew that Mr. Yun had bought the wood carvings, so she planned to find out. She quickly passed the photo, saw the wood carving. Che Yun smiled and said, "It looks weird, looks like a statue of a god. I don't know where Mao Shen is from. Do you want to pray for divine salvation?" Master Yun. Humanity has opened its eyes. Taking stock of the top 10 golden fingers, the protagonist of Wanjie went crazy. Author, Chirp. Chapter 290. Do you want to pray for divine salvation? Humanity has opened its eyes. What's this? At this moment, countless people in all the worlds are stunned. What's this? It seems like some kind of secret code. It must be some kind of secret code. Looking at Che Yun's appearance, she seems to regard Mr. Yun as one of her own. Good guy, can you think of yourself as one of your own just by matching a code? Is this too hasty? But the fact is that these peripheral members don't know which one is the peripheral member, and they don't know who is the companion. Therefore, when Che Yun hears that someone can match the code, it is not incomprehensible that she naturally regards them as companions. 2. Tisk, that's too sloppy. It seems like the blue and white society is so powerful that even the enemies are so afraid of it. By the way, is there such a magical thing in this world? Can it actually give people superpowers? Mo Kyung's superpower, Tisk, seems to be quite incredible. Doesn't he need to breathe in the water? Why? Yes, why don't you need to breathe in water? Doesn't this break the common sense of the human body? This is actually normal, right? As long as we use some water avoidance techniques or internal breathing methods, we can also achieve this, right? It's different, it's completely different. Mo Kyung is the kind who doesn't need to breathe at all in the water. Maybe Mo Kyung didn't figure it out himself, maybe the blue and white society knew what was going on. Well, it's possible, just keep reading. At this time, countless people were discussing and looking at everything that happened in the picture. Soon everyone saw it. That Che Yun regarded that young Master Yun as one of her own. Fortunately, Mo Kyung reminded her that Che Yun still planned to report to the top. But, it's still too late. Because, half an hour later, Mo Kyung saw a large ship appearing in the field of vision. Mo Kyung frowned. He was thinking, can that ship be sunk? To prevent them from getting closer? Then, he saw the table knife on the table. Okay, try it first. Mo Kyung's expression condensed, he grabbed the knife, confirmed the landing point, and then fired. Whoosh! The next second, the dinner knife came out of his hand, and in the blink of an eye, it hit an armed man on the ship. Immediately afterwards, Mo Kyung hit several more dinner knives in succession. Those were hits, and there was no possibility of missing. Even if those people are still far away from him, his ability is so unsolvable and buggy. When it comes to absolute hit, it means absolute hit. As long as he thinks about it, he can definitely hit something. And the people on the boat were even more frightened. They suspected an ambush and thought that the people from the Blue and White Society were on the boat, so they ran away without saying a word. Seeing this, Mo Kyung smiled. Sure enough, I was really scared away. The reputation of the Blue and White Society is really great. After watching those people go away, Mo Kyung took out his camera again and printed out the photos he had taken before. Although not everyone's faces were photographed, the faces of 8 people could be seen clearly. This is the tracking lock function is on. As long as he has this photo, he can find them at any time. After secretly solving a problem. At this moment, he saw Mr. Yuen looking at the sea with a confused face. At the same time, he quickly took out his mobile phone and broadcast a number. Mo Kyung smiled and sent the game character into Yuan Xiao's mobile phone. Soon, he heard the voices of both parties coming from the receiver. Yuan Xiao, was it your ship just now? Why did you leave before you even got close? Middle-aged man, you are wearing a person who can explain the Tao? Yuan Xiao. The one who explains the Tao, what is that? You ran away before you even got close? Wasn't it agreed that it would be a 50-50 split with Blue and White Club? Middle-aged man, I also said that their fighting power is a little stronger than ours. Mr. Yuan, what the hell is this? Are you sure it's 1 point? You guys ran away before you even got close. Middle-aged man, pay attention to your attitude. Master Yuan. Middle-aged man, throw the wood carving into the sea now. If you can't do it, it will be destroyed. In short, don't let the people from the Blue and White Society get it. Mr. Yuan, damn. What happens next? What should I do? Middle-aged man, person you. Haha, don't you want to have superpowers? I can tell you an unsolvable password. His power can help you not fall into the hands of the Blue and White Society. They can do something about you. None, even you can ignore all harm. Mr. Yuan, what password? Tell me quickly. Middle-aged man, first of all, you have to say, I declare. Well, there are 2 more words waiting for you to throw. If you drop the wood carving, I will send it to you via text message. Then the phone hung up. Unsolvable password. Mo Kyung also quietly exited the game, and the game character disappeared. He thought about the information the two discussed on the phone, and frowned again. After he came into contact with the wood carving before, he gained the superpower of not drowning. He felt that there must be other superpower items in the world. Oh, in Che Yun's words, they are contained objects. There must be other contained objects with other effects. Now, there is another. What password can enter the state of no solution? What is the state of no solution? It feels so powerful. What is the password? I announce. What do I announce? There are 2 more words. What are these 2 words? For a moment, Mo Kyung was lost in thought. The state of being in a state of no solution sounded so powerful. How could he ignore all harm? What a shame. But then, Mo Kyung felt something was wrong again. If these people really have this kind of rebelliousness, with Tian's ability, why are you afraid of land-based society? He felt that things were not simple. Soon, Mo Kyung saw Yuan Xiao gritting his teeth and returning to the room. Che Yun also confirmed with the superiors that land-based society there was no such person as Mr. Yuan. Seeing Mr. Yuan coming over in such a menacing manner, she wanted to capture him without saying a word. But she didn't expect that the boy was playing dirty tricks and he broke free. Then, he rushed to the room and grabbed the wooden sculpture. Without saying a word, he threw him from the window into the sea. What are you doing? The rich second generation was also confused. Che Yun also frowned. However, Mr. Yuan didn't say much. He just sneered and leaned against the window. Then, he took out his mobile phone and sent a text message. After sending the text message, he received a reply, and when he saw the 2 words on the text message, he smiled. Only then did he look at the rich second generation before, and responded with a sneer, what am I doing? You know nothing. If I hadn't gone to Thailand with you, I wouldn't have contracted AIDS, let alone where I am today. But, from now on, we are no longer in the same world. He smiled ferociously, his condition getting worse and worse. The second-generation rich man still looked confused. Now, no one can stop me, including you, Chae-yun, young Master Yun sneered and pointed at Chae-yun. That's called arrogance. Something's wrong, get out of here, Chae-yun hurriedly reminded the crowd, and everyone kept retreating. Ha ha ha. I am invincible. Unexpectedly, Yuan Shao laughed wildly, and finally said the password, I declare apostasy. Buzz. At this moment, a terrifying aura rose from Master Yuan's body. This command seemed to really give people power. However, before Master Yuan's excitement could reach its peak, his expression suddenly froze and his eyes blurred instantly. Blood flowed out uncontrollably from his eyes, and blood even flowed from his ears, nose, and mouth. Bleeding from all 7 orifices. Plop, he knelt on the ground dully and died suddenly on the spot. Dead, dead. At this moment, Mo Kyan was stunned, and everyone present was stunned. Countless people in all the worlds were also stunned. Good guy, died suddenly on the spot. What the hell is this? Do I declare apostasy? With just 5 words, he committed suicide. Damn it, would it still be okay if I just committed suicide? Damn it, I thought this password could really give me some kind of heaven-defying power, but in the end, this is it. Is suicide okay? Tisk, that guy from before clearly wants to give up on this guy. I'm laughing so hard, where's the password for being invincible? If he was really that strong, those guys wouldn't be so afraid of the blue and white club. Tisk, what the hell is this password? Why did he die suddenly on the spot after saying this? Isn't this normal? When you don't want someone to reveal your secret, you can cast a curse directly on the other person's consciousness. Once the relevant content is revealed, it will be detonated directly and forcibly killed. In essence, this is a curse. One kind of thing. At this time, countless people were discussing and watching everything that happened in the picture. In the picture, Mo Kyan was also confused. He quickly came back to his senses and complained crazily in his heart. If he had complained about the energy collector, the energy was full for a while. And soon, he discovered that someone from the Blue and White Club had uploaded it. It was the same Sister Yu from before. However, that Sister Yu never came to talk to Mo Kyan. It seemed that she no longer paid attention to him. Same, until the boat landed, no one came to see him. Mo Kyan pondered, and felt a little confused. He had no choice but to go back to school first. In the next period of time, he tried various tricks in various games. Man, half a month has passed like this, everything is fine, nothing happened. Because he has money, he also bought an apartment, and transferred part of the money to Zhang He, asking him to help manage the finances on his behalf. Finally, he just took the remaining 8 million and prepared to go back to his hometown. His hometown is in the countryside, and in his hometown, he has a father farming at home. Dad has poor legs and has nothing else to do except farming. Now he is rich, of course he wanted to see his father's legs, and then take his family to live in a big city. If he didn't want to, it didn't matter. 0. Soon, Mo Kyan chartered a car and planned to go back to his hometown. However, something went wrong before I even got home. Diddy. The driver honked the horn frantically. Mo Kyan looked up at the same time and was shocked. But what he saw was a truck coming crookedly in front of him. The driver honked the horn frantically, but it was useless. There was no other way, so the driver could only grit his teeth. Avoid, if you don't avoid it, you will die. However, we are on the bridge now. If you avoid it, you will only die. Boom, the next second, the car rushed out of the railing and straight into the river. Damn it! Amo Kyung's face was extremely ugly. With the impact and vibration, the car soon fell into the lake, and the car body began to seep at this moment. Open the door, Amo Kyung shouted. I opened it, but it got stuck, the driver also shouted anxiously. Soon, Amo Kyung found a tool and smashed open the window. It didn't matter if he was soaked in the water. He couldn't drown anyway, but the driver was very uncomfortable. Amo Kyung could only help. The driver was dragged up. However, the water was too deep. When Amo Kyung dragged the driver ashore, the driver went into shock. Amo Kyung gave first aid again, and the driver woke up. As soon as he woke up, he looked towards the bridge. The truck driver hadn't run away before. The driver immediately yelled at the truck driver. Look at the truck driver again, good guy, damn, drunk driving. No, damn drunk driving. It seems, this is like it was an ordinary accident. Not long after, the police and ambulance arrived. What happened there had nothing to do with Amo Kyung, so he was naturally sent home by the police. Amo Kyung frowned along the way. In the past half-month, he was waiting for the people from the Blue and White Society to come to him. As a result, he waited and waited, but they didn't come. And what happened just now seemed like an accident, but he was in the water for 5 minutes, completely when he was not breathing, he suddenly realized a possibility. This car accident couldn't be man-made, right? I fell into the water in a car accident. Is this a test of whether I have that kind of ability? I don't care about human life so much. Is it something? Amo Kyung frowned. You know, the driver almost went into shock when he was in the water. If he didn't have that kind of ability, would he and the driver both die in this car accident? No, no. Then, Amo Kyung secretly shook his head again and shook this thought away. If he was testing whether he had this ability, he should have contacted it long ago instead of waiting until now. Maybe the people from the Blue and White Society have already figured out the wood carving ability, and then came in contact. Not only did they confirm the ability, but it also made me discover that I have this kind of superpower. Even if I didn't know it before, I will know it now after falling into the water. At this moment, Amo Kyung thought a lot. At the same time, he thought that maybe the driver and the truck driver were both from the Blue and White Society. Tisk. Amo Kyung pondered, it seems that this person will come to the door soon. Fortunately, he is here. There was no random shooting in the water. So, what should I do now? Since it is a national organization, do I want to join the Blue and White Club? Become a peripheral member like Chae-yoon? It's not impossible. At this time, Amo Kyung thinking randomly. Soon, he arrived home. The people from the Blue and White Club hadn't arrived yet, so he was not in a hurry. When he got home, he told his father that he had made some money. Well, it was legal and he had paid taxes. That kind of thing. His parents are also relieved. After staying at home for 3 days, no one from the Blue and White Society came. On this day, he went to the reservoir again and began to blatantly test his abilities. He wanted to use this fish to catch people came from the Blue and White Society. At the same time, he really wanted to test his ability to breathe underwater. Soon, he jumped into the water and kept diving for 10 minutes without showing his head. He found that the pressure didn't seem to have any effect. Because he had already dived to a depth of 20 meters in the reservoir. Under normal circumstances, there would be water pressure at a depth of 20 meters, but he acted like nothing happened. There was no water pressure. There was no suffocation effect. It was as if he had already endured the pain of drowning in his previous dream. Even though Amo Kyung already knew that he had this ability, he was still surprised. After a long time, Amo Kyung came out of the water and was about to wipe his body. Then, he saw a car parked in front of him and a man and a woman walking towards him. Mo Kyung secretly said that he was indeed here. At this time, one of the men stepped forward and said, "Hello, Mo Kyung, first introduce yourself." "My name is Luo Yi, and her name is Wei Lan. We are members of the Blue and White Society, authorized by 190 countries around the world. To deal with all supernatural matters, this is the electronic version of the authorization letter," the man said, handing the tablet in his hand to Mo Kyungling.